Grubb.
Hello, everybody. We're going to get started soon. I will have it on for sure. Hello, everybody. Sorry, I know we were muted. Hello, hello, hello. We got the boys unmuted now. Let's see here. There's that. There's that. Let me do this. Move that.
Only good things, Brandon. Only good things.
Let me do that. Let me do it. Let me do that.
Hey, what do you think you're going through? You're just gonna reset everything again? It's one of those weeks where everything gets. And listen, I did move my computer, but still.
How are we in the
reset everything? Okay.
Man, I put in my new CPU and nothing reset. Thank you, by the way, Jeff.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, no problem. I just gotta still send Sean his. I put it in an envelope. So next step, progress is made. It's on the counter. I'm going to
get mine.
I'm going to the grocery store tomorrow, so I'll take it then.
Cool. I was at the grocery store today. I got some chicken thighs and I just cooked them.
You guys hear me?
You guys hear that?
Cheering now.
Yes, we can hear that.
Look at
you guys hear me?
Sorry.
Start cheering now.
Are you good?
All
good, dude.
I want hardware. I want free hardware, goddammit. Why is my dope fighting that?
Stop living in Argentina. Maybe you will.
I told you I would send you something forever ago.
No,
and you
you
never like
can't.
gave me the details.
Oh, they never
I'm
let
fucking
Christian
sure you
into
can't.
the U.S. after all the things he said.
I don't know.
What
Spend a
are you
night- I
thinking
spent
about it?
One night in jail. Does that count as like?
That's rookie
all
numbers in America. Come on, man.
Yeah, come on, we're not impressed. That don't
I'm
impress me
you know
much.
why? You know why? Because I'm hard to catch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I run really
Got
fast.
the moves, but do you have the touch? Yeah, and I think that's all. How's the CRTV treating you, Jeffy?
I'm waiting for one thing. Like I got a picture, but it's black and white because the chroma and the luma are coming across different things. It doesn't. Basically, it's not done yet.
Look at
Not
that
done yet.
CRT,
Still
baby.
cooking.
Still cooking. Still cooking. But I got a picture at the very least.
There you go.
All right. I played a little bit of Mike Tyson's Punch Out. That was fun.
That's cool.
Okay. I think we're good.
What model
It's
is
a
it?
tweet.
Yes, I'll get that next. It is a Panasonic CT2083Y. It's not. There's not a lot of documentation out there about it.
Yeah, Panasonic.
Isn't it PVM?
Kinda. I didn't want a PVM. I was even telling Mike I didn't want a PVM. It's like in between. It was definitely used for production in that it like has all those connections in the back, like B and C's.
Okay.
I saw it has S video and BNC, which is such a weird combination.
Yes, and it's got a ton of BNCs, and each BNC has a BNC in and out. Like it was used as a monitor like for production, but it's not. I would not classify it in that PVM category
All right.
that like all those
Stop
Sonys
asking
are
Jeff
in.
questions. Let's get this podcast going so I don't miss the net later with Paul
Oh
Reichert.
my god! All right, let's see here. YouTube.
Yeah, I love Paul Reichert.
I am about to tweet, and then we'll get started, everybody.
Adventure Mode can be. Sorry.
You guys ask Jeff questions thinking, oh, he'll answer my question while he does his thing, but that's
No.
not how my boy works.
No, definitely not.
That's right. That's his brain doesn't. Yeah. I mean, then no, it's not just your brain. That's just everyone's brain.
No, I think you're singling out Jeff personally.
Yeah,
How dare
I
you.
feel personally attacked.
Well, your brain is weirdly shaped, so it's just
oblong.
Oblong brain. Smooth brain.
Smooth brain.
What's that ever supposed to mean? What would be bad about having a smooth brain?
If you have smooth brain, you're dumb.
You want more folds in your brain, like.
Yeah.
Folds.
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh. I bet I have lots of folds. I bet I have a lot of holes in my brain. Even.
The smooth
That
brain
sounds right.
question just sounds like something a folded brain would ask for sure. Let's see here.
You want that wrinklish, full wrinklish on it.
I see. Smart thoughts are stored in the vault. I got folds in other places.
Okay.
Oh, I gotta sneeze. Maybe. I don't know. Oh, baby, I love the way that you sneeze. Maybe.
Pardon me?
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby, I love the way.
Oh, when you sneeze, I think it's kind of sexy.
Okay.
What is happening over there?
All right. I've tweeted. I've done other things.
Wait, I gotta evaluate this tweet. Let's see.
Okay.
Let's see what you said this time.
You
Ooh,
exited.
Judge's tweet live on air. Yes.
Okay, you gotta poke. It's a joke about me. Look at that. That's funny.
That's good. I like it.
Okay. I am gonna start. I'm gonna start. You guys good?
Yep.
I was burned good.
5, 4, 3.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now! Yeah, let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof woof. Hi, I'm Mike Minotti, and I am a Nintendog.
Hi, I'm Jeff Grubb, and I am turning down the volume. I am a Nintendog.
We are the last of the Nintendogs. Today, on July 25th, 2023. I realize I never say the date in this intro. Today,
Who gives a shit? Dates are for whack podcasts. Actually, it's for ones that know what they're doing. We just don't care.
Today, Pikmin 4 is out and is already selling well. Ubisoft has canceled an in-development sequel. And Mario Kart, your days are done because here comes an All-Star. Get your game on, go play. But first, Jeff, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. It's one thing like working from home. It's realized like, okay, I'm gonna make content. That's what I'm gonna do for a living. That's what we do now.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
That means that we host the shows, we put the shows together and stuff like that. But it also means like I'm my own producer for the most part in terms of making sure that everything is set up. And so when I move desks, it's like, oh yeah, by moving my desk a little bit, I've broken like 5 things that now needs attention.
Incredible.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, I guess I'm going to be spending like just an hour before the show trying to get this goddamn cam link and DSLR to all play nice to with one another. I switched out cables, that didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I just kept deleting things in OBS until it finally took, and that's what fixed it. So it's just like small little headaches.
That confirms my suspicion my suspicion, based off of nothing but a guess, is that you just have too much shit, including OBS shit or other third-party things.
It is too much. I would never in a million years recommend my setup for you, Mike Minotti. I would never. This is not optimal.
I agree.
But this is everything that I use like here that is on my, because I got rid of everything I don't use. All this stuff is necessary for the way that I like run the shows and make sure that they are somewhat, they look somewhat professional and stuff like that.
Sure.
But hey, it is a headache. It's definitely a headache. But
it works for you, buddy. That's
it works
all right.
for me, buddy. I also got my CRT, and it's that's also a headache because I got like kind of this weird PVM thing, and it's got weird connections, and I got my Mister, and it is connected to the CRT now, and it is working. But either the Chroma or the Luma, which one would be color? Probably Chroma, right? That starts with a C.
That sounds right.
It's not getting color, so I'm just getting black and white. And I kind of like that. It's kind of nostalgic. But the bigger problem is I think it's sending...
nostalgic for poor people.
Right. Well, hey, listen, I had a black and white TV in my room when I grew up.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Listen, my dad was a lonely auto industry employee, not a doctor, please.
Oh, wow. Now you're making this about who's... Wow. I bet my dad could beat up your dad.
Well, yeah.
With some money. This is terrible.
Stuffing dollar bills in his mouth. What?
Can you imagine having this conversation with anybody else?
No. God, no, Mike. Jesus shit, no. So yeah, it's kind of like, it's like fun, but I still need to get a couple more things to actually get it up and running properly. The biggest issue is that I think it's the Mr. spitting out 1080p to this, 480i, old TV. And I'm like, I think I got to go on an INI file, but I think it also should just work automatically. So I'm not sure. I'm going to have to take another look in there and figure out what's going on. Overall, though.
Sure, figure it out.
Overall, Mike, to answer your question, I'm doing well. How about you?
Yeah, well, you got that at that convention we went to near Cleveland, the Classic Gaming and Arcade something. It was a lot of fun. I found a lot of games to add to my collection, including some big gets.
Did you see the TikTok that Sean put out?
I did. Yeah, Sean put out TikTok on Giant Bombs. It's on this Twitter. It's on the TikTok, showing me buying Cubivore, which is one of like the big rare GameCube games that most collectors kind of fawn over. I also got Chibi Robo, which is like not quite on that tier of expensiveness, but probably a better game and also still like a hard one to find. So I'm really excited. I think like the only other like big ones I don't have right now is Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness that I could think of in terms of ones that are like probably more than like $100, like $150, like the big boys. I think otherwise I'm almost set there now.
Now, is there any world in which, because these aren't sealed, so would you ever send any of these in to be appraised and put in a shell and say this is worth $3,000 now because it's got an 8.6 on it?
For some reason I have an extra Metroid Prime that's like in decent shape, and there's nothing like inherently rare about Metroid Prime.
No, Metroid
a lot of people had Metroid Prime, but like
one of the best-selling GameCube games.
If I wanted to turn it into like a collector's piece instead of something practical, I maybe would do it to that just for the shits and giggles, just to see what that process like. We'll make content out of it. You know what I really want to get graded, Jeff?
Yes, of course.
This is my Batman.
Your Batman gamer
comic.
Issue. Yes,
right. Now, yeah, I think the notion of getting this graded is hilarious to me. That I would love to do. I'm getting it all greasy right now, but there goes a points off the scale already.
Yeah, hey, you know what though? It's 8.9 to 8.8. You're fine. That's still worth a lot right there. Yeah, that would be very funny. You should actually make that happen. How much does it cost to do that? Like what? Like $20? Probably not. Probably like $200.
Probably not. I think that's I think it's very expensive actually. That's
stupid. Yeah, totally.
But and I also got Batman Dark Tomorrow for the GameCube. It has the manual, so I'm going to be able to help you out now, buddy.
I'm sure this will have the answer to all of our problems, our questions. I bet it's going to be a joy to play now. This has been our problem. This is the gamer issue, Batman.
And incredibly, it has the comic that it came with originally also, the little mini comic.
I'm actually really excited for you to read that to us tomorrow.
Well, it says 2 of 2 on there. I don't know where part 1 would have come from, but
we'll check archive.org and see if we can find it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. Grug brought up Gotcha Force, which is a rarer GameCube game I should get. They had another, like, really high-tier rare one. It's Hyper Grind Go-Go or something. It's another Atlas joint. I just don't know much about that. Like, is it even good? Right. Why do I want this? Maybe someday.
Is Gotcha Force that movie about gerbils or whatever it was?
G-Force.
I'm thinking of G-Force. That's what I'm thinking of. G-Force.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, wasn't Zach Galifianakis like the human in that?
Oh, I don't know, but that sounds right. That sounds like exactly the kind of role you would have.
Yeah. It must be something if you get to be the human in one of those movies.
Yeah. Like, or like to be typecasted as the human in that movie is like the guy that played Cyclops is. Like he was in that Bunny movie and he was in Sonic.
Yeah.
Like he's just like, you're the guy that acts with CGI animals. Like how the fuck does anyone get that life?
Yeah, but he really lucked out with Sonic. They're actually like kind of working out. He got to show up for a sequel and probably get a nice little paycheck from that. Remember,
take care of Cyclops is what I say.
Yeah, remember what's his face? Neil Patrick Harris was the human in the Smurfs movies.
That's right.
At least the first 2 that were like the third one. I think was just an all CGI joint, which maybe is how they should have started. Yeah, he's the human of those movies, which is very funny to me.
Was he Grindelwald or whatever the fuck his name is?
No, he's just some guy. There's a guy who is Grindelwald. He's played by a human also, but like he's just like their friend. He's like he's the Jay Marston role. He's just some human who helps out the heroes. For some reason, we
just need a cool white dude to be friends with these CGI characters to have the audience to have someone to relate to.
It's like they all really want an Eddie Valiant like Bob Hoskins in their movie, and like no, you guys, how dare you? How dare you stand where he stood?
Yeah, nobody's Bob Hoskins.
Nobody is. All right, man. I thought I was really funny on Bombcast today. By the way, you're welcome.
Yeah. I think the best part of it is like when it really inflates your ego and then you tell me how funny you were. That's the part that everyone loves the most.
That. That's the key to comedy, Jeff.
Yes,
you have to tell people.
You got to recognize it yourself so you can let people in on the joke. I had a good time today. It was a lot of fun.
I did watch the clip of Chan just absolutely getting dying when I explained to him my turtles caroling. I don't consider myself a weird person, Jeff. Then I will read chat, and chat was like, "Is Mike being serious right now with this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Christmas Carol?"
Let's be real though. That's a fun thing. Like you guys are doing it as a joke. Like it's like a fun joke to let people in on. Like we're gonna go sing.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's like not a prank, but it's prank adjacent, right? Like.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you mean. Like, it's almost like the Arby's thing. I always say that it's not a joke.
No,
my love for Arby's, but it's funny.
Exactly.
And I play into it.
So if anyone that thinks that's weird just isn't quite understanding like what you're actually doing there, I think. And once they see the video evidence, which I'm sure we'll produce this year,
well, they'll fall in love.
Yes, exactly. They'll get it.
They'll throw money at me so I can go and buy Gotcha Force. Apparently,
yes.
All right, Jeff, let's get to the Nintendo news. There's a few things. Not quite as slow as last week, but we had a big game release, so you can't say it's a slow week, but definitely does feel like we are still kind of building up to something.
This feels like a slow week in general, right? Like just like this is, a lot of people aren't playing Pikmin 4, so a lot of people are like, okay, this is the break before Armored Core gets here and all this other stuff. But I'm playing Pikmin 4, so I and still haven't finished Tears of the Kingdom, so I'm in the thick of it. In terms of the news, though, you're right. I really do think companies like we are going to go all out, all out. We're going to go more out for Summer Game Fest and the Summer Game announcement season than we have in the past. We did that this year, and now we are going to take July off because we're not going to get August off because things are actually going to start up again.
Yeah, it almost kind of feels like old E3, and I like it, especially since we had so many ridiculous June games come out. Like, yeah, just actually let me play games for a bit.
Yes.
That's fine. And we had, some of that Microsoft Activision stuff still happening, of course, but that's its own other thing there. And we also do have Mickey Illusion Island coming out in a few days, so
yes, do.
Another exclusive. I think that one's actually going to be really fun. I'm probably biased. Mickey Metroidvania, of course I'm into it, but I think it will surprise people. We'll see.
Yeah, I got a freelance reviewer maybe working on something like that in my house right now.
A fan.
Yeah, she's about 4 years old, and we'll see what she thinks.
Incredible.
Yeah.
But otherwise, Pikmin did come out, and UK always has their weekly charts for box games, mind you.
Yep.
But just talking about that, it was #1 for the week, and the sales were up 45% compared with the launch of Pikmin 3 Deluxe, which was in October 2020. So, obviously this is a good deal later. A lot more Switches out there. This is a proper sequel, not a Wii U port, although we see that sometimes that doesn't really matter for these Wii U ports. They have done very well. Anyways, but still, this is what you want to see. This is significant growth. It would be shocking if this isn't the best-selling Pikmin game ever, right?
Yes, definitely. It will be. It's ahead of Pikmin 3 on the Wii U, in addition to being ahead of Pikmin 3 Deluxe on the Switch. It should be the best-selling one. It's not going to be best-selling one by some huge margin. It is not going to be a 10 million seller. No one ever expected that. That's crazy. But it could get to a 2-3 million probably, in that probably just short of 3 million maybe. We'll see. I'll just say that I'm glad that it's doing at least a little bit better than the previous Pikmin games. All that said, I said this with Pikmin 3 Deluxe. I think this is probably the last Pikmin game. So, yeah.
See, I think this is a series that can comfortably come back every 10 years like this, make a new one.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess it could. It's just, Nintendo has other franchises that if they were to put this amount of effort into, I think they would sell better even. I love Pikmin 4. I really am enjoying it. It's very, very good. I guess maybe it bums me out that it doesn't get more of an audience than it gets. And maybe that's why I'm like, whatever. I don't want to think about the fact that it's not catching on. But it's probably doing fine. You're right. Nintendo puts out Xenoblade, and those games probably cost a lot more than a Pikmin 4, and they sell about the same. So really, what am I saying?
Like 2 million, and they seem very happy with it.
Yeah.
I think they'll be plenty happy. I mean, like, this game does basically Metroid numbers now. Yeah. We still get new Metroids.
You're right.
So, yeah, I think there will be a Pikmin 5 someday. I don't think it's going to be like in 3 years, of course.
Yeah, and that's fine. I think that we're 21, 22, 23 years into this, 22 years in this franchise. We've gotten 4 games, 1 remaster, a bunch of remasters, actually.
Don't forget Hey Pikmin.
Yes, and then Hey Pikmin, of course. Who could forget Bloom. Hey Pikmin? So, yeah, I think that's the right pace. And if they maintain that going forward, or even if they take an extended break and come back in 10 years, I would be fine with that. Because, again, Pikmin 4, real good. It is the new, measuring bar for the entry in the series. And I think it's going to be the kind of thing where it'll probably continue to sell even on a Switch successor to some degree. And, yeah, that's fine. I'm happy for it.
All right, Jeff. Next thing here I got is, according to VGC, Ubisoft has canceled the in-development sequel to Immortals Phoenix Rising. Immortals Phoenix Rising was the 2020 kind of first Breath of the Wild-like game that we got. It came out on PlayStation 4, Xbox, PC, but it also came out on Switch. It did have a Switch port there. It was a pretty fun game, but I think the kind of style of it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I know I was not a fan of it. Humorous tone, especially since it wasn't actually very humorous. Graphics looked okay. I thought the gameplay was relatively fun, but they were trying to do Breath of the Wild in terms of like, here's this giant open world for all these different activities you can do, but they just still had to hold your hand and over-explain thing and have a million little cutscenes and little instances of dialogue and really just kind of somewhat missing the point. Maybe a sequel could have addressed that. The sequel was going to take place in a more of a Polynesian setting, so that would have been cool. Maybe not going to happen. What do you think?
Yeah, Nick Turbo in the chat says you gave it a 4 out of 5.
I said I didn't like the humor. Hey, I think a lot of us like things less the more we think about it sometimes.
Exactly, yes. Maybe scuff a little points off some reviews.
It's always terrifying. Anytime I mention a game, there's somebody like, let's see if he reviewed it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't even know the guy that reviewed it. Sure, it was me in name, but I've changed so much since then. It was a year ago. Yeah, it's this is a bummer. This is Ubisoft, right? This is what they're doing right now. They're canceling games left and right. And what are they working on? 14? What's the number of Assassin's Creed games? It's double digit.
That'd be funny. Yeah, I never even thought about in terms of numbers anymore.
They've admitted it publicly that it's like a double-digit number of Assassin's Creed projects.
Because like, even Assassin's Creed 4 is like the 7th one or something.
Yeah. But like, they say they have like 11 in active development or something crazy like that. So that's where...
Wait, Jeff. I want to see if I can do this.
Okay. You're going to count the ones that have come out. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm saying that there's 11 more coming that they have in works right now.
Yeah,
that's not a joke.
I know you're not joking, but I wonder... Oh, okay. Okay, my bad then. I was going to try to number it up. Okay.
Oh, you can go for it. Yeah, go for it. I want to...
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Then Assassin's Creed 2. That's Assassin's Creed 2. Then Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Assassin's Creed 3. Assassin's Creed... the one with the good trailer. Don't tell me I remember its name.
Sure.
Not Redemption. Revelations. That's right. There weren't many Revelations, but that's what it's called. Then you had Assassin's Creed 3, but you also had Assassin's Creed Liberation, the PS Vita one.
This is psychotic, but keep going. I'm saying what Ubisoft has done. Keep going.
Right. Then there's Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, but also Assassin's Creed, that kind of spin-offy one for the older consoles.
Was that
Rogue? Assassin's Creed Rogue.
It was
I think
Rogue.
Was after
but
that.
Was at the same time? Yeah, that's right. It was Rogue.
It might have been right after that and around the same time as the Paris one.
Yeah,
which was
right.
Assassin's Creed. You like this Unity?
Yep, there it is.
That's 9, and then 10 would be Syndicate, and then then there was that break.
We're not going to count the side scrollers, so you're all right.
No. Assassin's Creed Origins is Assassin's Creed 11. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is 12. Valhalla 13. So this upcoming one, Assassin's Creed... Oh, is this the one? I can't remember. It is Assassin's Creed 14. What's this new one called? Something with a
Mirage.
B? Mirage. Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Yes.
Yeah. There you go. 14. Assassin's Creed 14. They should call it Assassin's Creed 14. That's incredible.
That is really incredible. Some people, Nick Turbo says Black Flag had an expand-alone. I don't know. 14.
Expand-alone's a little fuzzy.
14 sounds right to me. I'm
counting the Vita one. They're lucky for that.
Yeah. And then on top of that, they have many, many more in development right now. That's what that's what's happened here. Is they were like, okay, we're making all these games. No, you're not. We need help making all these other games in these franchises that are our biggest IPs. We are doubling down on those, and that's the plan right now.
Licensing things, right? Like it's that, and hey, we can get Avatar
and Star Wars. Yep, that's exactly right.
Good.
And these games are going to have long supports, and they're going to get content, and these teams are going to go work on that stuff. That's what's happening here, and that is a problem. That is, I think, not going to be a good long-term strategy for Ubisoft. Not that the games that they were canceling were going to be anything special in a lot of cases. I think this one had a chance of really establishing this as a new franchise for Ubisoft, because like we said this on the Bombcast today, a lot of games figure it out with the sequel. Number 2 is when they actually know what they're doing now. And this is something I've heard from developers a whole bunch. This is what happened with the Amy Hennig game, where the Amy Hennig Star Wars game, where it's like, yeah, we're trying to do an Uncharted Star Wars at EA. And that sounds great on paper. The first one's going to be a 7.5 at best. It's going to be a 75 on Metacritic. And you kind of can't justify that. We'll get to an 85 with the sequel. The first one's going to be a 75 because it just takes a long time to figure this stuff out. And you would hope that like a game like this could get that treatment, get that shine on the sequel, go to a cool new setting, get away from the stuff that was a problem in the first game, like the humor. And it's like, yeah, you could see a path forward for success. And they are just like, no, we have a path, and it's all Assassin's Creed all the time, and then Star Wars and Avatar, and then Tom Clancy. And so, okay, all right, I guess Ubisoft, you seem real boring, and it's hard for me to get excited about the games you're working on.
I hate being the guy defending Ubisoft now, but like at their press conference, the one I famously walked out of, quote unquote, looking at this stuff, they seem to have a better direction than they had in a while. Outlaws and even the Avatar game to a lesser extent look good.
Yes,
that
I agree.
Prince of Persia game is really fun. I'm very excited for that. If they just do more things of that scale with some of these franchises, I'd be happy. Who knows? Maybe this Immortal sequel, maybe it was looking troublesome, and maybe they were thinking, why are we going to try to make this work? We tried to brute force Skull and Bones. We tried to brute force Beyond Good and Evil 2, and look where that's gotten us. I can maybe see why if they have another one of these far from a sure thing kind of games in development, these sequels, maybe they're like, let's just count our losses now. That's
and to be
devil's
fair,
advocating. I don't necessarily 100% agree with that, but maybe.
I think you're onto something at least a little bit. Like, games do get canceled all the time. This is something they never publicly announced. You know, we broke the story. I don't know, I forget what show it was, like a year ago when we first started talking about this game. And then you know, it's been in the works, and now they just canceled it this month. They gave it a shot. And yes, games get canceled all the time. I don't think it's that part's not too strange. It's just the other side of like, all right, where these resources are going to go into content for other stuff. That's a little bit disappointing. I kind of wish, all right, that didn't work. Let this team try something else. Maybe it with the similar ideas. It's like, they're not going to get to do that. So we'll see.
I do find the really doubling down on Assassin's Creed again a little baffling, because I mean, that is a franchise
that the problem. Yeah,
it literally had that problem before, and we're gonna really reassess. So they took one break, basically one time, found a new formula that worked okay, immediately drove that into the ground, and now I don't know. I still don't really understand what Assassin's Creed Infinite is, or Infinity. Is it just like a fancy launcher?
Yeah.
Is it like a service? Is it an MMO? I don't really get
it's definitely going
what
to be a
that's supposed
service
to
of
be.
some sort, but what does it look like? I have no idea.
No idea. And I mean, it's a game that you could easily wrap around a service like that, just because of the way it all works with Astrago, whatever, all that shit.
Abstergo,
your right? VR shit that the characters work to go back in time, right?
Yep.
Like, I get it, but I don't know. We'll see. Then one little news story here is hey, big game announced. Actually, who says it's a slow week? DreamWorks All-Star Kart Racing announced for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series. When people just write Xbox Series as the platform, that always throws me off.
Yep, I don't like it.
PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. This is coming in 2023. It's going to feature characters from Shrek, Kung Fu Panda, How to Train Your Dragon, Trolls, Boss Baby. I know you're a big boy for Boss Baby, Jeff.
Yep, you know me.
And Madagascar. It's being developed by Bamtang Games. Guess what they made? I guess what they made. I just combined made and did. Guess what they made?
I bet it was something mid.
Well, it was the Nickelodeon Kart Racer series. Most recently with Nickelodeon Kart Racers 3 Slime.
Oh, that game
Speedway.
never stops selling. It's always on the charts. Maybe I'm mixing it up with something else.
Really?
Yeah.
Nickelodeon Kart Racers 3.
I might be mixing it up with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, actually, there. Yeah, I have no idea what is the word on the street about Nickelodeon Kart Racers 3 Slime Speedway.
That was my thing. Like, at first when I saw it, I was like, that could be kind of fun. Some of those humor. I like Kung Fu Panda a lot. Shrek is still, funny. Shrek is kind of like Arby's, right? Like, yeah, I like Shrek, and I think it's funny. It's not necessarily a joke, but it's kind of a joke.
But it's still fun.
Get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But finding out that this is, the studio here has basically just done these Nickelodeon Kart Racers that no one seems to talk about. I imagine they aren't anything special. It's not like, Sega and All Stars Racing Transformed, or even, the Disney Speed Storms games, where these are like surprise, really competent, really fun Mario Kart clones. I think we're getting a tier below that here. Maybe not, but there that is.
I think that it's probably going to be kind of cheap, because that's what happens with a lot of, Game Mill is cheap. But that's what happens with a lot of those Nickelodeon games, I imagine. Or at least there's no reason to suspect that anything would be different with the DreamWorks games.
Right. And Game Mill is publishing this, so.
Right, yes. Game Mill's the publisher, yes.
So we'll see. Jeff, that's it for our news stories. Do we have some super chats we can look at here?
Let me see here. I got them right there. If I click that button, let's start here with Gerbear, who says, a vote for Sexy Brutale hurts Mike and Sean. Do it. I assume... Why would that hurt Mike and Sean?
Well, because we have the new game, the new poll up for the Game Mess Game Club.
Sexy Brutale is fantastic.
No, I never even heard about this. Somebody wanted to put it in there, but the choices are Super Metroid. Sean really wants to do Super Metroid, I think, just so he can try to hurt me.
Right.
Outer Wilds is a choice, and Sexy Brutale.
Fantastic as well.
Yeah, I think that's what I'd be happy to play any of those. Hey, look, I'll play Super Metroid even if it doesn't win. I play Super Metroid all the time. I'll be happy to play it again.
Sexy Brutale is fantastic. But yes, any of those three. I guess you guys don't like me interfering with the vote, right? Because last time you guys got mad at me.
Yeah, you did it last time, Jeff.
I did it before, and you guys were happy about it because you guys.
Okay, if it's to hey, don't vote for this game, it's bad. I don't think Soccer Story was gonna win anyways, but that's okay.
All right, well, I won't interfere. I'll just say all three of those games sound great.
I won't give away my vote. I could play any of them.
Yep, same. Let's see. L. Grug says, did Mike become Love Boat yet? Mike,
no.
Is you Love Boat?
Man, again, like it's like I had a whole week off last week, so I could do all this stuff. I could watch Love Boat. I didn't even watch Love Boat. I'm not a busy man in theory, right? When you look at it in paper, I should not be that busy.
I think it's not. It's like not theory, Mike. You're not a busy man.
Well, I mean, I'm making all sorts of great content.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I have a job, and but I don't know. It's like I don't know why. I mean, taking naps certainly didn't help, and I did too much of that in the vacation. Probably because I have sleep apnea, and they won't give me the test until November. So I'll just blame everything on this disease or condition I might have, and just hope that
for about the price of one copy of Cubivore, you could just buy a sleep apnea machine on eBay or something. So.
Yeah, but that seems like black markety. That doesn't sound safe.
Apparently it's not a problem. Apparently, the only reason you need to do all the other stuff is if you want insurance to cover it. People
if that's
reach
the
out
case,
to me.
I could probably just my dad probably just has another one. I should just be like, hey, can I just try your spare CPAC machine and see if it makes a difference?
The one is it like an old crank up one from the 1930s?
Yeah, in fact, you're going to come over and just stand next to me while I sleep and crank my machine for me.
Here. One of your servants, yeah, sure.
I will watch Love, but Jeff and I are going to be watching Columbo here because we actually met our Patreon goal, 300 patrons. Thank you so much. So we are starting a Columbo podcast. I think Octo is the one came up with the name Columbros. We'll probably go with that. You still have to say a Columbo podcast so that
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah,
SEO
best practices, of course. Yeah. Well, we don't know exactly what we're going to do with that. We have some ideas, but we'll figure it out. But either way, if you 100%, if you are a Patreon supporter, you're going to get it 100% for sure. We'll probably make them publicly available, but you'll at least get them early if you're a Patreon supporter as well. So
right, and this will probably be a once a month thing that we'll do. Like I said, I'm very busy. But we won't worry about that too much until Jeff's back from his upcoming trip. We won't worry him with that.
Nick Turbo says, Tazit or not Tazit? That is the excuse me. That is the question.
Yes, you.
That's what I'm just doing with it. I don't give a I don't fucking X. What a fucking loser.
Yeah, I am so it's so awful, but I also clearly publicly shaming him just doesn't work. Making fun of him doesn't work. I just don't know what to do. I am actually so sick of it. I actually don't even want to see him. I don't want to look at it. I don't even want to talk about it. I am actually over it.
Yes, I'm yeah, of course it's a dumb idea. What am I supposed to do about it? What am I supposed to do about it?
What am I supposed to do?
And I can't do anything about it, so I'm just going to choose not to let it affect me. Whatever.
I did unfollow at least a couple people who were like, "Oh, this is great, actually," and Elon Musk is the genius. And what do you know?
What the fuck? You were following people like that? You got to tell me who after we're done here.
No, I was shocked.
Is anyone I know? Well,
I don't know. It's somebody who showed up in my thread a lot because I think they tweet a lot. Okay. But
all right. Well, you're going to tell me afterward. Let's see. L. Grug is back. Says, did Mike get Gotcha Force on GameCube yet? I got that and Chibi Robo together for $150 a long time ago, and I'm not sure why.
Probably a long time ago. That's an incredible deal. But no, I don't have Gotcha Force yet.
Yeah, that is a good price based on what I saw.
What is it? Tell me.
What's that?
What's Gotcha Force? Is that what you're looking up?
Oh, I'm not looking up anything. I was saying, I saw some other evidence of how much the other game there costs. So how much Chibi Robo costs. Yeah, no problem.
Well, I'm going to look it up right now.
Yeah, go ahead. Iceman.
We have price charting, thank God. By the way, I looked up the price charting for everything before I bought it. So all my prices I got were fair.
Yeah, they were within the realm of reasonable, of course, for the current market. Yeah, go ahead.
This one's even, slightly more expensive than Cubivore. It's a Capcom joint. Ooh, shit. Now I want Gotcha Force.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Iceman 3110 sent in a super chat. It was their first super chat ever. No message, but thank you so much, Iceman. We appreciate that. And then RDX, son of a Fett. Hey, long time no see. Do you remember Vigilante 8? They should bring it back as Forza Vigilante 8. Forza will have a battle mode like Mario Kart or even a battle royale. I think that would be fine. They have, Forza does have a battle royale mode, but it's like just racing.
I mean,
put guns on it.
I mean, Twisted Metal should do that, really. But a Vigilante wanted to do it. I mean, I don't think. Man, that school bus thing was slightly controversial then. I don't know how well that's gonna fly.
Right
now.
You just don't do that. Like you
just don't do that anymore.
Can you not have Vigilante 8 without that?
Jeff.
Yeah, all right.
That's all Vigilante 8 had. Was that and the fact that it was on platforms that Twisted Metal wasn't.
You could like just change the color of a school bus, right? If you paint it like military green, then it just looks like a military vehicle, right? No?
Yeah, I guess. I
Mike,
don't know.
how can we get away with killing these children?
Oh, damn it, Jeff. I'm glad you're the one who said something like that this time. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is a bad show. I mean,
okay. All right. That does it for the super chats, Mike. Back to you.
Somebody in chat was like, Mike, you can stop hiding the price of Cubivore. We saw that it was $249 in the clip. Well, no, I don't know what you saw in the clip. It was more than that.
It was not $249.
It's not that.
No.
Not more than that. Jeffy Jeff Grubby Grubb, why don't we take a break? I believe we have some questions from the community we're going to be tackling this week, so we can get into that in a moment here.
Sounds good. All right, we're on break.
Yep, I don't have to do anything though, so we can get right back into it if you are ready. We can do pause first.
Sounds good. Let me see here.
Unless you want to kill any more children, right?
Shit. Okay, let me just actually bring up the questions so I can follow along. Let me do that.
I should bring those up so I can read them.
Oh, interesting.
Please
idea.
don't kill any children.
Well,
This podcast is
only because
the
you
official
said
position
please.
of this the official position of the podcast is to not kill children against killing children.
I
Just want to say that.
I guess we can maintain
just to
that
be covered. I don't
policy
know.
for now.
Hey, okay.
All right. So I think the last time we did a questions episode, there was 36 questions. This week there's 41. So
well, those new patrons.
Yeah.
Remember back when you did questions and topics?
No, I don't remember because my brain turned to mush after into
oh my
those
gosh.
episodes.
I still see some people with some long ones.
Yes, that's what I was getting at. Is that maybe we should cut it off? But Drew Man can definitely get his in there. That's no problem.
No, yeah, you can get yours in. But yeah, some of you that send in like 3 paragraphs. I love you,
Mike.
But
we're good.
Yes,
Whenever you want to bring it back in.
And we're back, Jeff. As I alluded to earlier, we still have some questions from the community here. Maybe we'll get more super chats. You guys can still send those in. We will read them. If you're watching live, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button, by the way. It helps people find the show. Makes me feel good. Jeff's got his prop in hand now. I'm going to start doing my beanbag trick at him again.
Okay. All right. Yes, you're right. I'll keep it below the camera. Below the camera.
You're good. Sephiroth says, hello, Jeff and Mike. After the fantastic Fire Emblem Engage, I wonder where we might see Fire Emblem again for either a remake or a new game. There's been that rumor of a remake of which one? Tharsha something here? Or something like that. One of the SNES ones.
Yep, you said it now. I can't remember. The Genealogy of the Holy War, is that the one?
Oh, maybe that's the one. Yeah, that one.
I don't think Tharsha is getting remade yet.
No, it's one of the Super Famicom ones that isn't a Marth one, I believe. Right. It's going to be. That's the
so
rumor.
It's like when we get a new one, like let's check our watches. Yeah, it's like
that's
it's
practically a new game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I think it's going to be next year, and probably even early next year. So yeah.
Man, we just had Engage. Man,
I know.
They really pumped those things that for a series that was supposedly like on death's door right before Awakening was a hit. They sure do make a lot of them now.
Make a lot. I mean. I think part of that is Intelligent Systems is independent from Nintendo. So part of it is like they pitch Nintendo on what they want to work on. And I think they're like, well, we get the green light if we pitch them Fire Emblem games and they like give us money to make Fire Emblem games. So let's just keep doing that. And that's kind of what happened with like Alpha Dream, where Alpha Dream's like, hey, they approve us if we say we're going to make a Mario and Luigi or a remake of a Mario and Luigi. And that went real bad for Alpha Dream at the end of the 3DS. So hopefully... Intelligent Systems avoids that problem. I think they probably will because Fire Emblem has a very like dedicated set of supporters. So yeah.
Screaming Man says, hello, Mike Murphy and Jeff Wayne. Everyone loves the RoboCop main theme on Game Boy, but I gotta ask, do any of you guys know about the soundtrack to Batman, the video game on Game Boy, or even played the game? The OST slaps so hard and is worth a listen during Blight Club. Here's Chemical Factory. No, I played Batman from Sunsoft on the NES. I have not played this Game Boy version. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that goes.
Good. Ooh, look at that percussion. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know this song, I think. I've heard this. I think this is something of a banger, as they say.
That sounds... I like a lot of Game Boy music. I mean, obviously it's used for chiptunes for a reason.
Dan Park says, "What's your favorite type of biome in video games? What are the biomes you find yourself disliking
is the
most?"
best. Snow's the best. Jungle is my least favorite.
Oh, really? You don't like jungle?
Yeah, it's too claustrophobic with because they put trees every 2 feet, and it's yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what game I'm thinking of, but in my head, that's just what it comes to mind.
Donkey Kong Country, but not that. Like Far Cry 2.
I don't know. I don't know. I just said some words. Definitely,
I said those things. Now I'm saying games that you like, and you're rethinking.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, snow is my favorite biome. I just love being in the snow. Least favorite biome. Obviously, there's going to be good examples of everything, but I think in general, hot, sticky environments. I don't like them in real life, and so I don't like spending time in them in video games.
I think Tropical Island might be my favorite. At least the first one came to my mind. So again,
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about the Immortals sequel we're not getting. But yes, basically the Star Tropics vibe. I always like that. I think fire as a theme can sometimes get really bland, especially when it's basically just you're in a volcano.
Sure. Yeah.
There's good examples of it. The Volcano Temple and Wind Waker's good, but generally that gets pretty bland for me.
Yep, I get that.
Okay, Boppenheimer says, "Wolf to my dogs. According to recent rumors, the next Pokemon game will take place in Unova, aka Gen 5. However, it's a spin-off Legends Arceus fashion. The kicker is, it seems it could take place in the future, not the past. Do you think they stick to a similar formula as they did Arceus? Because I don't think that would work in a futuristic setting. If not, how do you think they could incorporate semi-open world aspects?"
You know what this means?
Thanks as always.
You know what this means? It's like when Castlevania went to the future. You're gonna get a fucking gun. Pokemon with guns. Here it is.
Let's go. Yeah, that game is actually just this.
Yes, they're coming. No, they're coming back. This is their way they're gonna compete. They're not gonna let someone else outdo them.
Well, okay, so first off, I mean, they did Gen 4 at the last ones because it kind of coincided with those Gen 4 remakes. So even if this is happening, I would expect Gen 5 remakes to happen too. I mean, Black and White were the last Pokemon games I really liked, so maybe this is just wishful thinking. But hey, I mean, they could find a way to make it work in the future, especially if it's a Switch 2 joint. Maybe you can do slightly populated cities and it won't be this giant mess. Or maybe it could be a future that isn't necessarily, futures don't have to just be Blade Runner with skyscrapers and packed humans everywhere, right? Maybe we can figure out a future aesthetic that's a bit more compatible with a Switch or even updated Switch graphics settings.
Yeah, what's up with the Pokemon Company? I guess I know what's wrong. They're pretty bad at this, but they know that if they put out the nostalgia bait, HD 2D kind of Pokemon game, that it would sell a ton, right? And it would be a lot easier for them to make.
I don't know. I mean,
it doesn't have to be the main. It doesn't have to be the main one.
I mean, remember, but the remake. They didn't even make the Gen 4 remake, so it was even easier for them to quote unquote make those.
Yeah, I suppose.
Right. So I don't know. I don't think I wouldn't expect them to make the Gen 5 remakes anymore. No, I don't think that's something that's on their. I think their pipeline now is these main games and the Legends series probably for a bit. I'm sure we'll at least get one more of those. Yeah, Jeff, your camera is out of focus or something. It's weird that I look sharper than you do.
Yep. Okay. I'll fix it. No problem.
I mean, you don't have to.
I think I just got to touch the screen.
Touch it. Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Is that going to fix it? I can't tell that's going to fix it.
Yeah, touch it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, don't do that.
There yeah. Okay,
I think we're good.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Sorry, couldn't help myself. Content. Squirt Russell. That's a funny name.
Oof. Okay.
Dear Mike, Panty Party Purist Benatti, and Jeff, stunting on these hoes with my Game Boy printer Grubb. An evil genie curses you, limiting you to only have 2 condiments for your meals for the rest of your lives. Which ones do you pick? This is so funny. I literally, in Dan Reichert's chat, just before this, because he's talking about ranch or something, I literally just said, if I only had barbecue sauce and ranch for the rest of my life, I would probably be fine. So there you go. Man, that's a funny coincidence, Mr. Squirt Russell.
Okay, you already thought about it and asked and answered. All right. I think I probably would go ketchup and mustard. Yeah.
I would miss mustard.
Yeah, I really like mustard. I mean, if I say ketchup and mustard, do I get the entire pantheon of mustards? Or do I have to say brown
I think
mustard?
You have to pick a yellow mustard or a brown mustard or honey mustard. Yeah, you got to pick one of those.
Yeah, I think I'd probably still go yellow mustard. So yeah, just because I like that on hot dogs. I like mustard, or I like ketchup on my fries. I can do yellow mustard on sausage and bratwurst.
I like mustard, but it's a specific thing for me. I can't use it on too much stuff. I love it.
Does salsa count as a condiment?
Yeah.
Man, that's fucked up.
It's messed up, but there you are.
And Tabasco? I guess Tabasco's definitely a condiment.
Tabasco and hot sauce.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, Crohn's has taken care of that for me. I do like hot sauce a lot.
Can I just say hot sauce?
Like you can say hot sauce.
Okay, and that's gonna like give me a lot.
Well, I mean, okay. Do you mean like a Frank's hot sauce, a Cholula or whatever?
See, this is the thing. I didn't want to have to specify. So if I have to specify, then
I guess I'm not specifying barbecue sauce. So you can say hot sauce, but it can't be like a weird like pineapple. Like
no. I'm okay with keeping it like the basic hot sauces. So a basic hot sauce, and then I guess, man. Then I guess mustard? Man, that sucks. All right,
What I like about ranch and barbecue sauce is you can actually mix those two, and that's still actually pretty good.
Sure.
I don't think you would want to mix hot sauce and mustard. I guess you could.
No.
Why not?
I would not want to do that.
Benji says, hello, stale and pieces of white bread. Well, that's the meanest thing anyone's ever called us.
I mean, he's not wrong, but he's out of line.
Back in June of 2021, Who Asked for This Switch port for Kingdom Come Deliverance was announced and has been silent since.
Jesus.
What would you say is your favorite flavor of ice cream? The bait and switch. The bait and switch. It's been showing up in a lot more places. A lot of places now will have some kind of sea salt caramel flavor, and it's always so good. I love that. Butter pecan is like another standard, but yeah, sea salt caramel tastes amazing.
I do like stuff like Rocky Road, things that are like have like chunks of chocolate in it, cookie dough.
See, that's my problem. Because I don't like chocolate. And the one local place, their sea salt caramel ice cream has chunks of chocolate in it. And I'm like, I'd really rather those aren't in there, guys. But what can you do?
Yeah, I that's what I like.
Haas says, hey, dogs, with Mario and Sonic both getting 2D outings later this year with pretty generic subtitles, it got me wondering how games companies avoid using similar names for release. Easier for Nintendo as the platform holder, but what about other publishers? I feel like it must have happened where we had like two games. I mean, we had like Mario Odyssey and Assassin's Creed Odyssey relatively recently. I think it's not actually that much of a problem. People kind of get it. Remember when Adventure was a popular file? Everything was blank Adventure.
Yeah.
Sonic Adventure and
people just get it. You're right. I mean, like, what? I mean, come on, like everything at Super Nintendo, everything at 64. I know that's not exactly the same thing, but people are capable of telling the difference. Yeah.
I like Future. Future is my favorite for those. Ratchet and Clank, Future, Jet Set Radio, Future, Steven Universe, Future. Future's fun. Okay. Jackie G says, good day to you both canines. I gotta know, what is the worst video game you own physically? Well, I do own Bubsy 3D. I still have the jewel case for that.
But you also own Batman Dark Tomorrow.
I own it, but I also bought that Drake and the 99 Dragons for Xbox, which is supposed to be abysmal. So I own that. I have a feeling that might actually be... I shouldn't even tell you these bad games I have. I don't want to give you any ideas. Actually, but yeah, those three are probably really high up there. Bubsy 3D, of the ones I played, is probably the worst game I own. Yeah.
I don't have many physical games. There's some in the back. It's probably some like Nuclear Strike for Game Boy or something like that.
Don't you own a physical copy of Balan Wonderworld?
Oh yeah, I do. Yes, it's right up there. Okay, you're right. There it is, Balan Wonderworld. Thank you for reminding me.
There we go. Vision 49 says, hey, Mike, sentenced to 3 seasons of Prestige TV Minotti. Oh, God, no. And Jeff, sentenced to finishing Resident Evil 4 Remake Grubb.
Please, anything but that.
What's the oldest game you still play regularly? I mean, I go back to the NES Mega Mans all the time.
Yep.
Still. So that would probably be, in terms of like, I play regularly. I play NES games like here and there all the time.
Yeah.
But regularly... Yeah, I guess we'd have to say like Mega Man 2, Mega Man 3.
Mine would just be Super Mario Brothers then. Yeah, I play that
and
every
Punch Out for you.
Yes, yeah, but Super Mario Brothers is older than Punch Out.
It's older, you're right.
But yeah, it's those. I mean, there's a bunch of NES games like Mike, but I play Super Mario Brothers like once a month.
Velocity Prime says, hello, the dearest dogs. Captain Allmark crash lands in his army of vegetal colonizers, crash lands in your respective properties. What treasure does he need to collect from your homes to escape this blighted world? Well, he better not touch any of my GameCube games.
In my homes or my yard? Because if it's in my yard, it's going to be a bunch of kids' toys.
He's got to get my Shin Megami Tensei 5 edible sand.
Yeah, he's gonna get
magic sand.
He's gonna get my.
People told me not to eat it. That's right.
Now I want to see you eat it. It's gonna get my collection of Chinese Android handhelds, gaming handhelds. That's what he needs. There's plenty of stuff in there that would help him get back home.
Yeah, we just got a super chat from Iceman, who was, I know, sent a first super chat earlier. I think wasn't able to include a message, but there's a message this time if you want to read that.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed your content and playing Among Us. Thank you, Iceman. Did you play Among Us with us before? That's fantastic. I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, we should do that again sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. The spatially aware audio version of that was great.
That was fun. That version was really cool.
Yes,
for sure. All right, next one here is from Dr. Sus, who says, "Hello, RoboMitch and Backgrub. Nintendo is in a unique position to spin off every franchise into a turn-based RPG, but they just don't. Would you like to see Nintendo expand Paper into a full franchise? Paper Zelda, Paper Star Fox, Paper Splatoon, Paper Kirby. I mean, the only one of those that really appeals to me is Paper Kirby. Everything else I can kind of like, I would like to see other directions if you're going to do like a turn-based RPG for those. Honestly, I'd like a different direction for all of them. I like the paper thing fine, but I don't love it so much that I need it to be everything. Like, that's not what is great about Paper Mario, is literally the fact that everything's made out of paper. It's kind of cute and it's fun, but yeah, I don't need everything to be paper.
Yeah, I was thinking, I was having a similar thought, I think literally today, and now I can't remember what I was thinking, but since we're like on this, I'm like, they should be like Smash Brothering more than just, like, everyone says, oh, Nintendo Kart, but there's a whole bunch, like, if they did a Punch Out today, instead of doing racial stereotypes, which everyone agrees is great, and they should do that as well. But in addition to the racial stereotypes, they should probably just have a bunch of Nintendo characters in there. That would be cool too. And it could be like a rogues gallery of Nintendo villains. Like, you're just beating up King K. Rool and Mauser and all that stuff. Like, that would be cool.
Even like Mario Golf, Mario Tennis games, like all of those.
Yes,
like,
those. Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. That's exactly right. Chuck 1991 says, Wave Race 64 and 1080 Snowboarding were both developed by Nintendo EAD. The GameCube sequels Wave Race Blue Storm and 1080 White Storm, Avalanche, were developed by NST, Nintendo Software Technology, a developer created specifically to make games for the North American market. They quickly became the developers of the lame Mario vs. DK series, and in recent years have mostly done support and port work. Other than finding this stuff fascinating, I think it's a real shame / not surprising, as Nintendo loves abandoning their IP. Anyway, will we ever get a new 1080 and or Wave Race game? Jeff, I didn't really realize this, but this is probably why Blue Storm and Avalanche are generally not as good as their Nintendo 64 predecessors.
Not as good. Like, they're just not as good in any way. And I remember this at the time and being like, oh, Nintendo Software Technology is getting spun up and they're going to work on these games. This is going to be great. And then quickly being like, oh, Nintendo Software Technology, that's not that great. That's what happened. I mean, there are a lot of dormant Nintendo franchises. A lot. We are far removed from the X Gamesification of the entire world and the Tony Hawkification of everything. So I maybe there's always a chance. And I'm like, of those two, and if we include Excite Bike 64 in there, they did Excite Bots or whatever, Excite Trucks, both. They did both of those. I think we probably get another Wave Race on the grand the scale of time, but not anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like franchises I expect to come back, I would still put F-Zero above all of those.
Yes,
right?
100%.
Jamie H1224 says, do you think we return to Breath of the Wild's Hyrule a third time? I've seen it pointed out that Breath of the Wild has a blue theme, Triforce of Wisdom. Tears of the Kingdom has a green theme, Triforce of Courage. So we get a third game with a red theme, Triforce of Power. Whereas the red theme already shown to us through the Gloom and Blood Moon. Personally, this version of Hyrule never got boring for me, despite a combined 330 hours. Hey, 330, Ohio, represent in it. So I'd be okay with a return there in a few
I think they're going to do another one kind of in this almost exact same mold. Not with the same map. They will change that, but it's going to be very similar.
Well, that's why he's not specifically like Breath of the Wild's Hyrule. I think no to that. I don't think we're going back to this map.
I wouldn't be like completely surprised if they did that, but it would be a little weird if they did it a third time.
I mean, it'll take 7 years for it to come out. It'll be a little weird if you're going to look like, wow, over the course of 15 years, like every Zelda game is taking place the same map. I mean, I would also probably not mind it that much.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to do that a third time.
I think if they do it, like there's ways to do it in a way that it's like very exciting in that a lot of time has passed. It is still all the same characters.
Bring back Body, damn it.
Yeah, but it's like, it was cool to, a lot of the Breath of the Wild characters weren't super memorable, but the ones you do remember, and then you catch up with them, whatever it was, 10 years later, however many years, but like a lot of people had grown up and they were kids in the previous game. It was cool to check in on them. And now I feel like I have more of a relationship with them because I've seen them grow up and change and lead different lives. And so if we followed through one last time, I would be okay with that, but they'd have to do a lot more to really make that work. I will say, Mike, I completed the memories and I got the last memory, and holy fucking shit, that game rules. What
I was trying to tell you a while ago.
I know
do the memories right
yes,
now.
You and Sean said that, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm on it. Boy, holy moly.
Cool.
That is so cool. I was blown away. I was in bed. I was getting Emmy to sleep, and Emmy's looking over my shoulder, and I'm like, oh my God. And she's like, what? And I tried to explain why it was so cool. I don't know if she got it, but I was like, this is awesome.
It's a good video game.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what they do for the next one. Whatever they do, I'm sure it's going to be exciting, but I don't expect the same map. And the whole thing with the Triforce pieces, I don't know. I don't know if that's something confirmed. I never really read into that myself. Hey, don't forget we had those 2 Game Boy Color games, and they had those 2 colors too, and they just never did a third one. Or some people say a third one was maybe planned at some point. Who knows? Neon Genesis. I know who knows. Probably Did You Know Gaming has probably already done a video on that and explained it. Neon Genesis Evangel Leia. Oh, it's Leia. Hi, boys. Work is hard and is making me deeply existentially exhausted.
Hell yeah.
What's your favorite way to treat yourself? Treat yourself 2011. It's probably shocking, Jeff, but I was a big Parks and Rec guy. I know I probably don't give off Parks and Rec energy at all, but I really liked that show. Me and my one friend, I think you met Jen. Me and my friend Jen would do Treat Yourself days. Yeah. And my buddy Dave, who's also Jen's boyfriend, would come too. We treat yourself, just eating whatever we wanted, and we kind of did 2 or 3 in a week. And Dave's finally like, guys, you gotta stop treating yourselves. We just were like, yeah, treat yourself, just basically getting fat and lazy, just screaming, treat yourself, as if it's this spell that makes it okay.
If you declare it to the universe is like, oh, I didn't know that you were treating yourself.
Yeah, it's okay. Anyways, Leia continues. I'm a fan of irresponsible online shopping, personally.
Hell yeah.
Thanks. I do like going to the used game/music store and seeing what they've got over there. That's kind of a big treat myself lately. I will get ice cream, actually, if it's a rough day or something. I try not to get ice cream too often. We have a very good ice cream place here. It's 2 minutes away from me, so I'm careful not to just go and get ice cream constantly. But it is definitely one of my favorite things to do as a treat.
Yeah, I'm it's rough for me right now because I got a big mortgage and a whole bunch of other things, 2 kids. And so all my money goes away. That's what happens with my money. And I'm also having, that a minor gamer's midlife crisis. So I want to go wrap myself in nostalgia at the same time.
You want a Neo Geo. That's what you want.
Yeah. It's but I'm trying to find cheap ways to do it. And that's tough. But honestly, going somewhere different than your normal environment, that's a big, and even if it's someplace just going to the beach, if you have a lake by you or something like that, just do stuff like that.
Going to some classic retro gaming convention with me.
Yes, and living vicariously as he gets all the cool stuff that you're if I really had unlimited money, maybe I would be doing this.
Brock Ness Monster, that's funny. It says, hey, Mike, missing slot, Minotti, and Jeff, let's fill that slot. Grubb. Jesus. Y'all think that Nintendo's okay with re-releasing GameCube games at $40 rather than making a GameCube NSO app? Keep doing what you all do.
I mean,
I'll keep supporting.
They did one at $40, right? Metroid Prime was it. Was there another one at 40?
How much did Bandai Namco sell for their bad Tales of Symphonia quote-unquote remaster? I hope that was $40, but who knows?
Yeah, and but from Nintendo, it's been...
Well, we got Sunshine with Mario All-Star, so that was $60, but with 2 other games, so not bad, I guess. Pikmin 1 and 2 were bundled together.
They're cool with it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, this makes more sense to them than doing GameCube NSO for now. They'll get the GameCube NSO in 2 systems.
Tales of Symphonia remaster was actually also $40. How much was Pikmin 1 and 2?
I don't know.
Let me see. Pikmin 2 Switch. I think you can buy them individually or together. I forget. If you bought just Pikmin 2, that would be $30. So yeah, they are kind of doing a lot at that sort of range. That's actually kind of nuts to me that Pikmin 2 is only $10 cheaper than that really elaborate, well done Metroid Prime,
and again,
quote unquote remaster.
That Pikmin 1 and 2 it's pretty much just like updated controls from the new Play version from the Wii and then HD. And that's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But okay. But yeah, it just seems like we are not going to get GameCube NSO. Like that does not seem to be on the menu. I hope I'm wrong, but like that is just a kind of game because it is like at a point then where like games have gotten they've changed, but not a whole lot. So you can quote unquote remaster those and just sort of sell them as new games in a way you maybe can't necessarily get away with Blast Core, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, N64 is one that they, for a long time, were trying to get the most value out of. And then they decided, okay, we have moved past that. And now we're okay with treating that like, you know, this virtual console stuff.
But even we had Nintendo 64 virtual console.
Yeah, but those games were like $10 each, right?
Yeah, they were very cheap.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
No, you're right. All right, next one here's from Juan Gifts, who says, "Hey Jeff, Thinking Man's Jason Momoa, Grubb, and Mike Thinking Man's Kratos Minotti. Is it weird that the most important thing to me in Nintendo's next console is that they track my playtime better? They had this stuff figured out on the Wii U and 3DS. What features do you want the most? Integrated voice chat, eShop music. Yeah, it does drive me crazy when you look at your profile, and for the first 10 days, it's like started playing this game." 10 days, like, why would I care? Just tell me now.
Yeah.
Like, why are you rounding it up to the nearest, like, 5 hours? Like, what is wrong with you? Just tell me.
It definitely knows.
The game.
It's a computer. All it does is count. That's all computers do is count. So it definitely knows, but it just, they're like, well, we're not telling you. Like, what the fuck?
Right. Anyways, your question's a boring answer, but backward compatibility. I just want, like, very good backwards compatibility with all the original Switch stuff.
Yeah, I'm the integrated voice chat, just like improved social stuff in general. I think it doesn't.
The integrated voice chat I would want is just Discord. I would just want Discord.
Well,
support,
I mean, yeah, if they're gonna do that, but I mean, anything is better than nothing.
Sure. All right, next one here is from Bench JC, who says, "Hey dogs, I wanted to ask, what is it like being an older adult that plays video games and is very in tune with stuff? I do feel the stigma of adult playing games has gone away for the most part. But I don't know if you all have any thoughts on that. I assume you all plan to play games forever, pretty much. Yeah, that's the plan. It is weird. Like, I want to be careful. Like, I know nobody is ever trying to be mean-spirited about that. But like the boomer stuff, it's like, that's only happened like a year ago. It's the first time it ever occurred to me, like, oh, there are some people who are going to think, well, I don't necessarily care about this person's opinion because they're kind of older. So
we're going to get ageism pretty hard here in the next couple of years, Mike. We're going to get like, yes, we are. Oh, that's just a crazy old man.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, in terms of like people from the outside of gaming, or then that stigma, or just my plans, like, yeah, I don't plan to stop playing games. I mean, I plan to have some form of this is going to be my job forever because I'm not going to retire. Can't afford it. But and then that's fine. Maybe that morphs into something more behind the scenes at some point. I don't know. But in terms of playing games, I don't think about it. I never really worried about what other people thought. I was on a Reddit, and someone pointed out, like, there was a conversation about a Twitch streamer getting $50 million or something to go play games on YouTube or some other site, whatever. And people are like, that's like more than the top like paid basketball players get. And then someone pointed out in the replies, LeBron James, for all his talent, is also just playing a game for people to watch. And I'm like, that's how I've always viewed it. I agree with that. And like the person that said that got super downvoted and was like, you're crazy, but like it's completely different. And I'm like, my mind, it's always those baseball's a children's game, video games are children's games. We can find ways to turn these things into more mature experiences if we want to, or we can just enjoy them as the things that they are, children's games. I'm fine with that. And so, yeah, I've never really felt that stigma, even when there was a stigma, because the people that had that opinion almost always just were the dumbest motherfuckers alive. They've never been interesting. They are boring, and it was very easy to ignore them.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in my like real life, I don't have anybody who I feel judges me for playing video games anymore. That is.
I mean,
like,
these days
really
it's all
just not
everyone's
a
like,
thing.
you play games for a living? I'm like, yeah, I guess. No, not really. I would love to, but yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. So, and like a lot of people my age are playing games, so there's nothing weird about that.
Yeah, and I mean, my wife works a real job, and she tells people what I do, and they're always interested and or impressed, and it's like, oh, that's cool. I think people are like, I wish I had a job like that. And
I should show you playing Batman with your Batsuit. They may be less impressed.
That's very, very true. But yeah, I guess that's our jobs. Like in terms of just doing it as a hobby. I mean, people fucking grown men play with toy trains, and I think that's cool too. And you just gotta like, who gives a shit? It's your hobby.
Trains rule.
Yeah, trains are awesome.
Chaos Buckaroo says, howdy, fellas. July 15th was the Famicom's 40th birthday. Have either of you ever played with original Famicom hardware? If so, what about the disc system? Would Tears of the Kingdom be better if you had to yell into a Joy-Con microphone? Actually, I don't think I have, Jeff. I don't think I've ever like held a Famicom controller. I've definitely never have held a disc system. Now, at this con we were at, there were some Famicoms. I think I even saw a disc system somewhere. There's some games people were selling too. I know I saw some Super Famicom like complete in box of the Final Fantasy games, and God, that Final Fantasy 6 box art looks even better in person. That is so stunning. But no, never owned a Famicom. Yeah,
I've never really had any sort of urge to get the Famicom. I always liked the look of the NES better. The Famicom always looked more toyish, and I think that was by design. And that's fine. I hate that. A lot of times I like the color scheme. We saw what that Game Boy Micro in the Pikmin 4 quick look we did today, me and Dan, and it had the Famicom color scheme, and I'm like, oh, that's gorgeous. It looks really great. I like that a lot. But I've never like gone out of my way to play a Famicom because I just have. That's never been the thing. The nostalgia for me is not there. The thing I want is a 64 DD. I was always pining for a 64 DD. Like as soon as the N64 came out, conversations about the 64 DD would start, and I'd be like, okay, this is going to change everything. And of course, none of that ever came to be. But I would still really like to have one.
You want to play Mario Artist or whatever the hell it is?
Yeah, exactly. Doshin the Giant. The way it got into it.
Let's go. Chat Bing says, hey, Mike and Heimer and Grubb Barbie, would you rather play a game based on the Barbie IP, but like actually good and high budget, or a game based on building an atomic bomb during the Second World War? Oh, definitely the Barbie thing. That second one sounds depressing.
Oh, building an atomic bomb during the Second World War. Nothing could be more my shit than that. That is like, that is so like.
Think of all the children you could kill with it.
The idea of using that weapon is appalling to me. It was appalling. There was no excuse for it. It was never necessary in the first place. And yet, man, you put a fucking bomb, atomic bomb in a game, put an atomic bomb in a movie, and I'm just like, that's fucking cool. Like, I can't help myself. God. I'm a fucking monkey who sees a shiny thing, and it's the biggest, shiniest explosion I've ever seen.
I remember my cousins had a Barbie game for Super Nintendo because they were like girls, so they had a girl game.
Sure.
I remember it was very boring. I remember you could like go on a bicycle or ride a horse, and it sucked. That's all I remember about Barbie video games.
Barbie Horse Adventures?
Maybe. I don't remember. Bugadillo
says,
that a
meme for a long time? Sorry, go ahead.
That Hello Kitty Island Adventure, whatever, is like a real game now from South Park. So all your memes can become
dreams.
Not dreams.
Yeah, not dreams.
Bugadillo says, hey, big dogs, what do you think cooked Yoshi meat would taste like? I mean, what? People eat snakes. That's a reptile, right? So
you said
whatever.
Cooked Yoshi meat?
Yeah, well, if you killed Yoshi.
Okay, you sound like you said Cody Yoshi meat.
Cody Yoshi meat. Sorry, cooked Yoshi meat. If you killed Yoshi and cooked him, what would it taste like? Well, I mean, if you don't season it, I bet it would taste pretty bland. Hey,
I mean, it's like, it's dinosaurs all turned into birds, right? Basically. So, or the ones that like survived.
Oh, yeah.
They're probably just like a foul. Like,
yeah, but real like tough because like Yoshi's
sure. I'm not saying
constantly.
Chicken, but like, game hen or something.
Yeah, he's real tough because he moves around too much. There won't be much fat. It'll be gross. But yeah, real tough, bad poultry meat.
Yeah.
Courageous McBasketball says, hey, Jeff and Mike, what's the Zelda thing Jeff mentioned last week? Potentially just the Oracle games on NSO, just to potentially set expectations for people.
I don't know. I told you everything I know.
Okay.
I've said everything I know was something not related to Tears of the Kingdom, but Zelda related later this year. Maybe. Like, the plans change.
I would be happy with the Oracle games, but
yeah, that'd be great.
Octo says, hello there, Jeff, blank father Grubb. Remember, that's a bad word. So, and Mike, this is cozy games, but loves Monkey Island. Monkey Island's not cozy. There's high stakes. There's plundering and pirating going on there. Come on. Will we ever get a Resident Evil 2 remake moment for Assassin's Creed? With Ubi's Insane tripling down on Assassin's Creed, it feels like the series will now never have a chance at reinventing itself. It will just continue to grow into this Fortnite Eldris games as a service monster. P.S. Mike, check out Gravity Circuit. It's great Mega Man-like.
I've heard about this. I was going to ask you if you've heard about it.
And he says, buy an indie game for once, GameCube, Richie Rich. I buy indie games. Not so much this year. I don't think it's been people yell at me. I don't think it's been an indie game kind of year, to be honest.
Yeah, it's been
last
too many
year
big
was
games.
for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of taking all the oxygen out of the room for it.
Like I still want to play Pizza Tower or whatever.
Pizza Tower, yeah. I was singing that song. I mean, it's not from Pizza Tower, but the version of it. Bum 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 ba-dum ba-dum.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've seen this game. I definitely overwhelmingly positive. I definitely should. Oh, yeah, this game absolutely looks like my jam. I'll play this. If I don't, keep reminding me, because this is clearly just like Mega Man X. Yeah, even in a mech suit. That looks super fun. Definitely want to play that. Yeah, remaking. I bet they'll remake Assassin's Creed at some point. I mean, it's weird because
wasn't there a rumor that Assassin's Creed 4 is getting remade? Am I making that up?
That was a rumor. No, you're not making. Yeah. You're not making that up.
That's a wild one to do. I think. Like, I get it. It's like the one that maybe has the most positive sentiment this far removed from it. I mean, I love Brotherhood. A lot of people like 2. A lot of people love 2. But everyone just seems to agree. You know, the 4. Yeah, everyone loves 4. And so, but still, it's weird that they would remake it.
It's weird. It's weird. You know, you think you'd remake 1. I mean, the weird thing is, though, like this new one coming out, whose name I already forget yet again. Like, it's not a remake of 1, but it's clearly trying to capture some of that, right?
Right.
Like,
I mean, they're going back to the same setting and similar setting.
Similar setting.
Similar part of the world.
I got yelled at before when I said it was the same setting.
So
yes.
Exactly. Thank you. Yes.
But yeah, so I mean, okay, in a long enough timeline, I'm sure that is going to happen. Is this Gravity Circuit game on Switch?
I don't know.
Let me see Switch, because
it is.
Yes, it is. All right,
it
fantastic.
Probably is. Yeah, I know they played it on Player One podcast, and they were talking about it. And then when they mentioned it, the way they talked about it, I'm like, this sounds like a Mikey game. Is it Inti Creates?
Is it? If it's straight up Inti Creates,
it probably isn't, because Sean would have mentioned it by now.
Yeah. I don't. Gosh, it's weird that on the Nintendo site they list the publisher but not the developer. Yeah. Anyways, next one here is
it is not. It's Domesticated Ant Games.
Okay, there's the name. That is one of those just grabbing words out of a hat studio names, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Lenny Cool Dick Denver says, "Hey Mike, numerically not a team player. Minotti and Jeff adopted a CRT TV Grubb, so my old 4K TV died Sunday, and I was wondering, would 8K TVs actually catch on, or will it be a fad like 3D and plasma TVs? I've seen some quote unquote cheap 8K TVs for like $1,600. Oh man, you can almost get like 3 copies of Cubivore for that. But the features for a 4K TV in the same price range like the LG C3 make me wonder why someone would buy an 8K TV.
Yeah,
now, I mean, Jeff's waving his hands. No, Jeff, you've been anti-8K for a while.
Yeah, 8K can eat a fucking butt.
Eat a butt, 8K.
Yeah.
I'm glad someone's finally saying it.
I feel like I sound like a villain from like a Nickelodeon made-for-TV movie.
Oh, Jeff, this is so... I'm sorry. I'm just so excited because this new Giant Bomb TikTok, like, I'm in it surrounded by people, and people could see I'm not short.
Yeah, that is literally the first thing Sean said to me when I sent it to him. He's like, oh my God, he is tall.
No, I don't know if I'm tall. I will say I actually happen to be surrounded by some shorter people.
Yeah, listen, we were at a gaming trade swap thing.
What is that supposed to mean?
It means that it's, you know, the little people, you know, the little people like games.
That's not what you're saying.
I think it is what I'm saying. So thank you for saying it out loud, for making me sound how insane I actually am. Oh my God, you're right. That's insane. We just happen to be taller than most of the people in those shots. There were plenty of tall people there, but Mike's like barely an inch shorter than me, like not even, and I'm like exactly 6 feet. So yeah, right. Now people.
Anyways, 8K TVs. Tell me about how bad they are.
Yeah, don't get the LG C3. If you're gonna spend that much money on a TV, definitely get the LG C3 4K. Like that is gonna have you set. Even if 8K catches on, it doesn't matter because you're not going to be able to tell the difference because you're like the TVs you're talking about. You would have mentioned it if you were going to buy a 150-inch goddamn TV. You're not buying that. If you were, then maybe 8K because down the line. But even then, no way. I'll get the LG C3. Do not get an 8K TV if you're comparing and contrasting between those kinds of models.
Miss Fio says, "Hi there, Mike. World's greatest disaster boat detective Minotti and Bat Dad of the Day, Hero of the Night Grubb. Sorry to be one of the sort of long ones. I promise this will be my last one overdue. You guys are amazing this. Okay, Theo, I'll allow it. So why do we really have to justify the ABK, Activision Blizzard King deal based on IPs alone? Outside of here is people trying so hard to dunk on this by saying, lol, Activision has no games, COD is dead, Overwatch trash, Crash and Spirals for babies, old people play Candy Crush. It's just so cynical out there and annoys me. Honestly, Microsoft could drop anything on Game Pass right freaking now and folks will be on it fast. Doesn't even matter if it has a pre-established fan base. Could be something so obscure like, boom, here's a Cyberstormer, bam, bet you didn't think you see Gun again.
I do not think I would see Gun again.
No. Anyways, prototype Blur, Tony Hawk Pro on retirement. They could even drop Project Gotham and people would still play it. Hell, they can even marathon it and get someone to make something completely different from a source material, from something that is truly a relic if they're passionate enough to take it on. Seriously now, I think what's important is brand new stuff from more subsidiaries that aren't hopefully shackled by Call of Duty mill. Whatever happens, people will play it on Game Pass. Microsoft's in this unique position where people will play anything that's on there with curiosity alone. Video games are really big now. There's an audience for anything. Now, what do you think? I get what you're saying. I think IP is still king in a way. It's like the best thing that seems to be happening now is at least maybe we're getting like new IPs matter. Or maybe people are finally getting sick of certain IPs like Marvel, like Star Wars. And it's like we look around like, we're all going to really be into Barbie now. Actually, that's going to be it.
You saw how much money that movie made, right?
Barbie? Oh, yeah. Ridiculous.
$155 million. That's bonkers numbers.
It's already made more money than Indiana Jones, and that makes me feel old, but maybe rightfully so. I don't know. Jeff, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Miss Fio. I think that the issue with the way that you framed it is that the IP is what's going to stick because people who work there, and you know, Jim Ryan said this, and we've been saying it on the show for the year and a half leading up to this deal. The people that are there now, the talent, they might stay if they like it better at Microsoft than they did at Activision, but many of them won't. Many of them are going to take the shares that they got paid to work at Activision that are now going to turn into a lot of money. They're going to wait for those shares to vest, which just means you got to wait a couple of years to actually get that money out. They're going to let those shares vest, and then they're going to take that money and they're going to go do their passion projects, and they're probably going to start their own development studios. They're going to leave. And so if you are saying we're going to take the resources of Activision and turn this into new stuff, yeah, definitely try that. There's something there, but the sure bet is what IPs can we turn into stuff by putting new teams on there and attracting talent to these things. That's going to be actually more valuable to Microsoft.
I mean, if Microsoft could only buy one or the other Call of Duty, or the people who make Call of Duty without that IP, like which one do you really think they would want more?
Yes, and that's a tough one because you could send a bunch of people into trying to make Call of Duty, and we've seen that they failed. But the answer is Call of Duty, the IP.
Gerber says, I'll keep this short. This is going to be fun, Jeff. Listen here. What's the first gaming-related word that comes to mind when you hear the following? We're kind of talking about this. These are prefixes. Not really prefixes, we know. So the first one is, and then we'll both say it. I'll say the word, then we say the first comes to mind.
Like right away?
Yes, yeah, so after I say it. Super
Nintendo.
Metroid. Interesting. You said Nintendo's been. Dr. Mario,
yeah.
Captain N.
Yeah, Captain N. Yes, that's literally. I was gonna say Nintendo game, but I was trying to say Captain N.
Mario
and Luigi.
Nice, interesting. That's a fun one. Thank you, Gerber.
That's good.
Mr. Bohr says, "What is the worst opinion your co-host?"
Oh no,
has?
I have really bad opinions sometimes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think it back on them.
Mike's
I know. I know you. I know when you got mad at me the most recently.
Oh, I would love to hear this because I'm going to forget. I was going to say top of the coast game.
I think the one you got heated on me most is my hate of like the prestige TV superheroes.
Oh yeah, I don't blame you actually for that one. I actually started rewatching Invincible, and it's like you're not wrong. Like the violence is the point of that show, but it is interesting because of the way they present everything and how it's like they pull from like a lot of these things do. They have the superhero stand-ins, like there's a Batman character and there's a Wonder Woman character, or she's Wonder Woman / Thor basically, and it's like it's fun to like take those things that now have become iconographic and play with them in this like what would it really be like, or like how violent could they really get? Like if Superman actually punched somebody, what would it actually happen? And it's and that's not an interesting concept on its face. The show just does a really good job, and the books did a good job of executing on it. I think it's just like the way that you're dismissive of it. I'm dismissive of a million things like that as well, and so I don't really blame you. I guess it's like it's a similar thing, like across the board. Like cozy games, you're gonna find a cozy game that you like. You found a bunch of cozy games that you like.
Like I like Stardew Valley a ton, right? Exactly. It's just
and I think I'm the same way with like the prestige Sony games, where I'm just like, I don't care about these games, and then I'll play one. I'm like, oh, I like this. This is fine.
It is funny, like the weird things that like Jeff quote unquote annoys me. They are very stupid things that don't matter. Like I got annoyed that he likes Toy Story 4 too much.
Oh yeah, that's a good one, and I love Toy Story 4. Right? That's a good movie.
I like, to be clear, to pretend to be bad about. I don't think Jeff has ever had an opinion that has actually
by definition, they're
keeping me up at night.
Yeah, there's definitely things where people have opinions on something. I'm like, oh, really? Okay, but I'm like, nothing's coming to mind. Right now, it is the people that are like refuse to give Pikmin a chance. Like, I get it. It's an easy thing to not care about, but it's bothering me right now a little bit.
Yeah. Opinions don't usually upset me. What upsets me when like people are wrong or they frame their opinion in a way. Like, there's a YouTube channel I like, and it's fine. And sometimes their opinions are a little like weird. But they were like talking about like Sonic or Sega and All-Stars Racing Transformed. It wasn't just like, oh, this is great, but why? Like they're like, why is it named after Sonic? Do people even like Sonic anymore? It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Granted, it was an older, I think it's even like before the movies, but even still, it's like, okay, it's weird.
Yeah.
All right.
Weird.
Next one is from Fish and Love. Hey, Jeff Grubb, and Mike, owner of a $500 Cubivore. Minotti, no question this week. Just wanted to make sure that everybody listening knew that Mike blew $500 on a mediocre 20-year-old game. Have a good show.
Put you on blast, man.
Hey, I haven't played it yet. I don't know how good it is. You've never played it either, Fish and Love, I bet.
I did play it for like a half an hour because I bought it like when it came out, and then I don't know what I did with it, but I definitely did not sell it for a significant amount of money. It was probably a significant relative to other used games I was selling at the time.
I think that's what it is, and the difference between this and like a Gotcha Force. People did talk about Cubivore.
Yes,
it was like in the magazine,
right?
So
it was like you go to IGN. It was definitely one of the games they were talking about, and so you're like, oh, I better consider that. Like, yes, it was in that pantheon.
Isaac Clark says, "Hi Jeff, thank you for suggesting H Bomber Guy Grubb, and
Absolutely.
Mike, thank you for suggesting Matt McMuscles Minotti. I applied for a job in the gaming industry today, and I'm really excited about it. Before doing what you currently do, did you have any fun, horrible, interesting job experiences? As always, much love." Everybody talked about this. I worked at a call center for 1 week. Did you know that?
I don't remember. I definitely had the 1 week job a couple times. I worked at Papa John's for a week.
Yeah, it was like basically long enough to be trained and then do it for like a day and be like, I can't do this. This is a terrible job.
My call center job was Verizon Internet service, and I did that one for about a year maybe, and it was I was pretty good at it, like in terms of like de-escalating. Like that was so it's like it was fine, but also I found that I hated sitting at that desk all day. That was the problem. I'd get done with work and I'd be like, oh my god, I got it now. I got to go like run for 2 hours just to like not feel like I'm falling apart.
I think, and maybe this is part of my thing with like even prestige TV and like stressful things or dark things. Like I think my empathy, not necessarily in terms of like, oh, I'm such like a nice guy who's always here, but just in terms of like whatever like feelings the other person has, like they really like affect me somehow.
I agree, yeah.
Right. And so like a job where literally anybody I'm going to talk to is not going to be happy to hear from me and is probably going to get mad at me. Can't do that. Yeah. I would die.
Yeah, I just would get to the point where it's like I think I can help this person, and they're mad at some faceless company, and they're just taking it out on me. And it was like, not a great job.
See,
but
Jeff has always had much thicker skin with me, and I've always admired that about him.
I don't know where it came from, but it definitely was helpful in that job. I've worked a ton of jobs. I worked so many. Yeah. It was Subway, Jimmy John's, were some of the big ones. FedEx sort facility. That's one I probably haven't talked about too much. So you would go into this big, like, maze of metal tubes, effectively, and they're not really tubes; they're like slides. But you would,
is that what the internet was? I heard that's a series of
yes,
tubes.
But
God, that's an old joke.
It's the internet for packages, and you would walk into, it was Rickenbacker Airport, south in Groveport, Ohio, outside of Columbus, and you'd walk into the center of this maze, and people would be unloading that was a job, unload the shipping containers, and then they would throw all of the packages onto a conveyor belt, and every single one of these packages would come to me or like the 7 other people in the center of the sort facility. And then we would pick up the package, look at it, see where it's going, and then put it to one of these slides that were around us. And I would do that for 5 hours every day. And I lost a lot of weight.
Cozy.
Yeah, I lost a lot. It was like pretty. Yeah, you would turn your brain off. I think that's when I really started like listening to a ton of podcasts and stuff. So
actually
no, because that would have been before podcast. So yeah, no, I don't even know what I was doing. Maybe I was listening to the radio.
Maybe. It's bringing me back to the favorite biomes.
Sure.
I actually really like industrial, like warehouse kind of a thing. This is oddly specific, but I liked the Monsters Inc. level in Kingdom Hearts 3, and I think a lot of people didn't even like it. I was like, I like how this is just like a place where people work, and it has a lot of like exposed brick and machines and stuff. I think that's actually, again, the Disney MGM Studios aesthetic rotting my brain, actually.
Yep.
All right, next one here is from Brian Rose. Howdy, folks. I was wondering what you guys think the chances are that the Suikoden remasters due this year will get delayed. Their Twitter, or whatever it's called now, hasn't updated since January. It seems like Konami is way more focused on hyping the Metal Gear Solid re-releases for the fall. Yeah, I guess I just realized, as you said, it has been a little bit sweet.
Where did those get announced?
What did they get announced? Is that like late? It was either like late last year or earlier this year. It wasn't that long ago.
Was it in a direct?
Was it in the direct? I don't even know. Okay. I remember excited because those are good games. I wouldn't be shocked if maybe they got pushed later this year, but I also wouldn't despair at them not saying anything. It's not exactly the kind of project that needs to get constant promotional updates, although it is a little worrying if we don't have a date at this point. But, maybe Nintendo's doing something later, and we'll get more news on it then.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nintendo's almost certainly going to do a September direct, so maybe then.
Dampiel says, do you think Diablo 4 will come to Steam this year? I know it can play it on my Steam Deck right now, but I want all my toys in the same toy box. You know what I mean? I feel like they would wait as long as they could on that one, because again, like when you put it on Steam, you get more players maybe, but those are all players, and they're going to be existing players who move to Steam who are now buying microtransactions on Steam. So now Valve is getting a cut of that. That's why, it seems like a slightly distant move for me, at least for Overwatch. And I think it's telling that it's not like a migration for everything, and why Overwatch is the only one doing it right now. I'm sure some others will follow. I'm sure Hearthstone, just like by virtue of how old that game is, maybe at a similar point, may as well try to get as many players as you can. But Diablo 4, I imagine that would be one of the later ones, of the ones that are going there. I don't know if World of Warcraft ever will.
Yeah, World of Warcraft seems like one that would be very strange if it was suddenly on Steam. Diablo 4, I don't know. I think I agree with what Mike said.
I think Diablo 2 will be on there way before that.
Yeah, that sounds right. Diablo Immortal.
Yeah, sure, why not? Dr. Ryan says, in the movie, we bought a zoo. Why would they buy that zoo? Oh my God. I'm sorry. I don't know why I think this is the funniest question. Excuse me. Okay. Dr. Ryan said.
I didn't know it kept going. I just started reading it. And the next phrase is getting me. Oh, man.
In the movie, we bought a zoo. Why would they buy that zoo? That's a lot of responsibility. I don't think I would have. I would have bought something else, like a house, or maybe a silver pound. Is Is We Bought a Zoo on Amazon Prime?
I don't know, but if it is, we should watch it. Hell yeah.
You want to see why they buy that?
That's a very insightful question, Dr. Ryan. We got to get answers. We don't have them for you, but we're gonna get our top men on it. Absolutely.
Why would they buy that?
This is a bad podcast. I switch and love.
That's incredible. Thank you, Dr. Ryan.
Thank you, Dr. Ryan.
Oh, Big Tony says, my dogs. Excuse me. I'm a weirdo physical collector. Do you think the Wii U physical library will be worth more or less than it is today? I just sold the complete US collection to help with a down payment on a home and hope I can rebuy it in the future. Thanks. It's hard to say because there's going to be some nostalgia for the Wii U. We're already seeing that. I don't think it's ever going to be like the GameCube. The GameCube was in this weird space where they didn't sell very many of them. And yet,
sold more than the Wii U, though. But
it sold more than the Wii U.
And yet,
but so it didn't sell well. So there weren't that many of them out there, but it still had a 5-year life cycle with pretty good support. The third-party support definitely wavered at the end there. Nintendo just kept making good games for it. There were a lot of good third-party games for it. So that one is, and that's it always was good. So people still have a lot of fondness for it. Wii U was always getting beat up. A lot of its best games are just on Switch. It's hard to say how much that stuff's going to be worth. So I don't think you're going to, I'm sure that it'll be more expensive than what you sold it for. I think you'll be able to rebuy that collection someday.
Yeah, I think that's right. I don't think it's going to have a sudden surge in value the way the GameCube's had multiple times. But it generally, it's going to keep going up in price.
I wonder what the most expensive Wii U game. What is Wii U's Cube for?
Yes, I can tell you what it is.
What?
Devil's Third.
Oh, that's funny.
I think that's the one that comes. I know that's maybe the most famous one. Maybe it's not actually the most valuable one.
Next one here is from JD Camp. It says, would you rather have 2 middling GameCube games or about 120 delicious beef and cheddars from Arby's? Ha, you fool. Most of those beef and cheddars will go to waste because they'll go bad after a bit.
And you could have both. There's
Yeah, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
I'm a big boy. Nintendo Switch Boomer says, let's get to the real question here, guys. Chicken or steak? And why can't Redfall get a little more love out here? It runs. Gosh, I mean, the best thing about steak is that it is a special occasion food. You don't want to eat steak every day. It kind of loses some of the luster there. Just before this, I mean, the chicken's great if you're cooking chicken thighs, and you all should be. I just buy that thing of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I put a bunch on a sheet tray. You just throw it in the oven for 30 minutes, and it comes out so good. And I just cut into strips, and I throw it back in that pan with all the juice and melted fat and whatnot, and just spin it around there with some seasoning. Then you put that in tacos, or I imagine some people would put them in, salads if you're into that. So chicken is easier to cook. You can cook a lot of it. The steak is definitely better than chicken, but if I can only have one for the rest of my life, I might go with chicken.
Yeah, oh yeah, that for me it's chicken. Is it a hot take that I don't really like fast food steak or fast casual steak? Steak on my burrito, no thank you. Steakums, yes. Pretty much the only steak I like is going to a restaurant, ordering a steak, getting a T-bone or anything like that point. That's fine, but otherwise I don't like it.
I think that's an okay take. I mean, maybe if you went to you got a Philly cheesesteak from Philadelphia, that'd be good. But they use shaved ribeye, so it's always been surprised that it's ribeye. That's relatively nice meat.
Yeah.
But no, I don't. I'm the same. If I'm at a Subway, I know steak is generally nicer than chicken. I don't want that steak. I want the chicken.
I think a Philly cheesesteak. I guess that's the one exception. I think that's pretty good.
Well, I think that's the key. You have to cut it so thin.
That's what it is. Yeah, it's got to be that proper cut.
Redfall can't get any more love because it stinks.
Yeah, that's right. It does run.
It runs. Lots of bad games run, I guess. I mean, has there been a game so bad that it just didn't even work at all? I guess that has happened sometimes.
I stumbled on, I was cleaning out my car and I let YouTube just go, and I stumbled on a creepy video game stories. And the first one that the guy had was talking about some fucking bonanza game or something for an old PC, and he played it, and apparently his friend kept playing it after they left his house because it was like, this isn't his game. His friend got it, and this weird one, and he started having like really bad seizures, and they tried to go back and play it more, and his parents would like forbade it. So I think that's like the worst kind of thing that you can have. It's like if it's like that's actually hurting people. Yes, barely, but yes,
barely worse. Bradfish says, "Hello, dogs. What do you think they'll rename Xenoblade Chronicles X when it finally gets ported to the Switch so that they don't run afoul of Mr. Musk's lawyers? I mean, it'd be funny if they call it Xenoblade Chronicles Tweet."
Yeah, so Xenoblade Chronicles Twitter.
There you go. DMC Depressed Me Crying says, "Hello, Mike. Accidentally using slurs could happen to anyone, Minotti. And Jeff, you're the only one this happens to, Grubb." No, Jeff, Mike, you're the only one this happens to. While it's obvious the Wii U was the wrong answer, what should Nintendo have followed the Wii up with? The most recent traditional console, GameCube, was a flop. Motion control craze had run its course, and mobile chips hadn't reached a performance level to make console gaming on the go a reality yet. I mean, that's an interesting question. Maybe they should have just made a straight up Wii 2, actually. Maybe they should have just made an HD Wii.
I guess.
Muddle it with like the Wii U stuff. But even then, not really, because like, I don't know, the Wii thing had actually run its course. Like they had a problem with not selling enough software because so many of those Wii sales that made the Wii look like this mega success, and it was, were for people who had Wii Sports and like Carnival games, and that was it. So I mean, it all worked out because like, what if they made a GameCube, then they would have like something that was good enough to last for 5 or 6 years. Then they would have maybe been too late with the Switch. Someone could have beaten them to it. So maybe they should have made the Wii U. Maybe they just did.
That's gonna be my answer. Is that the thing they should have made is the thing they made. They got a lot of kinks out of the system with that Wii U, and they knew what would work and what wouldn't, and what they needed the Switch to be. And the Wii U got them there. And the Wii U was mostly fine. There was I think some limitations to the technology that made it a bit frustrating for me, but I liked it overall.
Keywork says, "Sup dogs, saw you all enjoyed retro game hunting and got some goodies. Do you guys think in 10 to 15 years it'll be fun to hunt for games of the previous and current generation? With limited run games and the continued digital takeover, it will surely at least be different. Maybe I'm old, but hunting Switch games does not feel like it's going to have the same rush as the Nintendo 64 or Dreamcast games." I mean, look, maybe this is just me, Jeff, but you can maybe elaborate here. There seems to be a pretty marked difference, even like 360 and PlayStation 3, right? Because so many of those games, just like almost every game there that kind of matters, got ported. Not a ton, especially less so with PlayStation 3. That's kind of a big 360 problem, I think, in terms of nostalgia. Is like there's not very many games that are stuck on 360 or that play best still in the original Xbox 360 version. And that's a problem that's only getting worse. PlayStation 4, all that stuff you just play on PlayStation 5 or probably PC even. So yeah, I think about this a lot. Like, is Xbox One ever really going to be a nostalgic console? Is anybody going to have like the parts of an Xbox One laid out behind them in a frame? Are they going to have like a poster of the Xbox One logo like people do with things like Genesis and Super Nintendo? I have a hard time seeing it for some reason, even though like obviously I am probably biased because those aren't the systems that I grew up with. I guess there are just going to be generations of kids who those were the systems that were big when they were 12. And maybe the idea of having a PlayStation 4 logo in their like room when they're an adult is really going to tickle their fancy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that will happen. It definitely will happen. There will be people out there. But I think if we are holding up the GameCube as like sort of the ideal of what collecting games looks like, that's such a confluence of factors of it's Nintendo and it's a really good system and graphics, 3D graphics came into their own. And so like going back to those games is still fun. And the GameCube didn't sell a lot and it had decent third-party support. And there was still a little bit of that. Sometimes the GameCube gets exclusive third-party games that aren't showing up elsewhere. So it's like there's a lot of those things all coming together and making people be like, oh, I'm into this. This is fun. It hits the nostalgia. And I think you're right that not much since then can really replicate that, because even like the 360 PS3 era, nothing like the Wii, all those systems sold at least 40-50 million consoles. Even the Xbox One sold about 40-50 million. So it's like there's a lot of those out there. It feels cheaper because of that, because it's like, a lot of these things are just readily available, and so most of the games for them were much more readily available. I will say that the Switch, I did see some limited run games at that gaming convention, and like, oh yeah, look at this. There's a Stranger Things 3 physical edition copy here for $150 already.
Yeah,
like,
that might be the stuff that people collect.
That's going to be the stuff that I think people, and that's probably the right sort of place for those kinds of games to be, where it's like there are going to be limited run games, like literally limited run games, as well as just games that had a limited run, and those would be fun to try to hunt down, I think, still.
Nick Turbo says, as it looks like Metroid Prime 4 will not release this year, I could say I have completed a bachelor's and master's between the time of the game's announcements to release. What game had the long development? Did you have a huge life developments between announcement and release? Kingdom Hearts 3 is certainly coming into my mind. I feel like that's a game that came out when I probably still would have considered myself like either a teenager, like, I wouldn't have considered myself an adult yet. Then by the time that came out, like, I was like very deep into this job and stuff like that.
When did Starfield get announced? Was it 2018?
It was that. Was it announced that same show when they announced Elder Scrolls 6?
Yeah.
Or did we know about it before?
I think we knew about it, but I don't think they had announced it before that. So 2018. All right, damn it.
E3.
Well, I mean,
you say both your kids.
Yeah, I was gonna say both my kids, but no, Amy was born in 2017. But I mean, honestly, I will have changed jobs a bunch of times. My life has changed a whole bunch between when Elder Scrolls 6 got announced and whenever it's going to come out.
Yeah,
like,
right.
That's
we can all say that.
Yes, exactly. So,
maybe we'll be fucking dead. I don't know.
Exactly.
The Pikmin Wolf 5 says, hey, Jeff, Mike should give his copy of Path of Radiance to the Inverted Wolf. And Mike, I should give my copy of Path of Radiance to the Inverted Wolf. What do you think is the worst Nintendo Switch port? The big ones I can think of are WWE 2K18, The Outer Worlds, and Blood. I mean, it's hard to say because I probably avoid them, right? Like, if I know it's a bad Switch port.
Is Bloodstained still fucked on Switch? That's a shame.
That might be the worst, just because
that's
one.
Yes.
Come on. Like, there's a game that should be best to play on Switch. It's not that taxing of a game. Like, what are we doing here? That's bizarre. So that would obsess me. I mean, the Tales of Symphonia thing also still bothers me.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other thing. Truman says, quick callback to Game as the Size My Boys, but Twisted Metal 2 is arguably the PlayStation's first console-moving game. The game was a smash hit in 1996. I mean, yes. I think
that sounds right. Yeah.
I mean, so was Crash Bandicoot. Was definitely a big console moving game for PlayStation, and nobody would even hear me talk about liking that game. So yeah, there's an opinion that actually got me mad recently. Yes. That's right. Oh, come on, Crash Bandicoot.
I actually think that I was just mad at you about Wave Race.
Mad at me. That was killing
just
me.
The gall of replacing Wave Race with any of these games. That's what it was.
It's cute how much you like Wave Race, Jeff.
Thank you.
I like Wave Race too, but man, DB Corinne says, evening dogs, besides Doom and Animal Crossing, can you recall another video game, Barbenheimer? Not really. I don't know why, but I always remember actually Elder Scrolls Oblivion and Kingdom Hearts 2 coming out around the same time. Not even probably the exact date, but I think they're both like March 2006 or something like that.
Did the Wii and the PS3 come out on the same day?
I don't know if same day, but very close.
Well, same month. That's because that's kind of a Barbenheimer.
Greg is right in chat. We do have Spider-Man 2 and Mario Wonder in the same day this year.
That's pretty good, but it's not exactly there, but it's close. I definitely agree with that sentiment.
You think this is something like a lot of companies are going to manufacture now?
It's so hard to picking release dates is such a tough thing. It has to be serendipitous.
One Up versus CPU says Gravity A has a match with Pac on Dynamite. Do you think you'll remember? Who's Gravity?
I'm sorry. Gravity has a match with Pac. Do you think it's a typo?
Remember, I think it's a typo. I don't know what Gravity is. Oh, Gravity. Gravity. Dynamite.
Okay. It just sounds like your mic's cutting out. That's all.
That's what they sound like. That's what they sound like.
Isn't there a thing about how Pac is the man that Gravity forgot?
Oh, Oh, he did it, Jeff. I mean, that was his gimmick in like NXT when he was in Neville, not Long Bottom. That's
Gulator says that he's a luchador.
Oh, Gravity's just okay. This has layers to it. Very
yes,
cute.
There's layers to this. Yes, we got there, everybody. We shit, man. I wish we would have on Monday played. I was like, man, I should try to get the guys together. We'll play just another thing at AEW and continue the story.
Maybe one more.
Maybe we could do it tomorrow sometime. I don't know when. Maybe.
All right. Seraphis Kane says, "Hi, dogs. Mike buying Cubivore unlocked a memory of seeing it for sale at a local Hollywood video that was closing down about 15 years ago for $20, and knowing it was a rare game and not buying it, gonna take a while to climb that memory back in the hole. Any games you had an opportunity to buy when they were cheap but passed on, and now regret it?"
I was there for all of them.
Do you guys ever hear of Funko Land? Because there's a point where Funko Land, like probably around that GameCube era, Funko Land just had all these NES games that were like garbage to them, like selling them for like $2, like anything. Literally every NES game was less than $5 or $10 at the most. So everything would have just been so much cheaper.
Yep.
And then G-Mancer says, "Why is Mike such a little bitch?"
I don't know. I keep asking this myself. Why is G-Mancer coming at you so hard?
Yeah, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you buy a couple expensive video games and all that. People are mad at. I think people, you know what, Jeff? I think people are jealous.
I think people are jealous of your lifestyle.
I think that's to say it.
Your gamer lifestyle is putting a lot of people to shame.
Yeah, sucks to suck, I guess. I wouldn't know though. Hey Jeff, why don't we take one more quick break? Then we have some more super chats. We'll talk a little about what we've been playing, and we'll wrap up here. How's that sound?
Let's do it. All right, we're on break.
All right, we can get right back into it because.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
And we are, in fact, back. Jeff, why don't you read those super chats?
Yeah, let's see here. I think we have just a pair more because we already read Iceman's. Willow Davis says, "Anyone tried out Pokemon Sleep Apnea yet?" I've not downloaded Pokemon Sleep. I don't know if I'm going to download Pokemon Sleep.
Yeah, I don't know, but you said like your funniest thing almost ever when you had Jordan Midler on Game S Mornings, and he was talking about Pokemon Sleep, and he was like talking about like, oh, he's sleeping next to like the person that they, and I'm already giggling. And you just immediately say Jim Ryan.
That's pretty funny. You're right.
I actually lol. I laughed out loud.
That was a good episode. I had fun with Jordan.
Yep. He's good, even though he's some of his opinions are just insane.
He's truly a madman. Yeah, everyone from the UK's got insane gaming opinions because they had an alternate history. They're like, Nintendo didn't matter. Sega was kind of a big deal.
I think if you played an Amiga, it just kind of broke your brain a bit.
We had played the Commodore Amiga, and that was the height of technology. I'm like, you fucking lunatics.
Yeah, it's just actually. I feel bad that he thinks they're making a Ratchet and Clank. I don't think that's it. I mean, look, they might be. I don't think it's that team. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know. Let's see
here.
I think one more. Stephen Reese says, "What if the children deserve it?"
Oh, this is about you wanting to bomb them or kill them or something.
I think it was blow up a bus that they're in or something.
Something bad.
That reminds me of like, so I can't remember. It was like some viral tweet that went around. It's like, hey, like you got to take care of kids, but what if the kids got bad vibes and you just don't like being around them? It's like, yeah, what if? Very good point.
Well, right, exactly. It's a fair question.
That doesn't make.
All right, Jeff, tell me a bit about what you think of Pikmin 4.
Can't stop playing. It's so good. It's so good. They nailed it. Every change they made is to make it more in service of the fun. The Pikmin are smarter in terms of like not being annoying with the things that they do. They come back to you or they go back home. They don't waste their time. They don't get lost. There's a ton of little changes and they're hard to keep track of. So I'm not going to list them here, but there's a ton of like quality life stuff that they really focused on to make sure that just getting to the fun is right there. And then the core of Pikmin is still really fun, and they really focused on that as well. They didn't get rid of the day-night timer, What they did get rid of is like the 30-day timer. So you don't have to beat the whole game in like, 30 in-game days anymore. That's gone. There's just sort of like play how you want. Yeah, you got to get back home before nighttime, at least at the start of the game. And that still like leads into this this loop of, you push out into the world, see what you can accomplish, and then if the world pushes back because you're running out of time or you don't have all the stuff you need, but you gather what you can find, and that unlocks more stuff and makes you more powerful. The good thing that they've done is they've layered in a bunch of systems, and it's like, if you pull 40 Pikmin, you unlock something or whatever. There's a lot of stuff like that, but there's also just like resource management now of you're constantly collecting one of these resources, and you can use those resources to either buy upgrades or to build certain things. And so it's like always feels like every little thing you do is feeding into the progression. And so it all feels really great. And I'm having a really good time. Pikmin is in this weird place where before I'm playing it, and I've said this before on the show, but like, it's hard to be like, oh, I'm super excited, Pikmin game. But once I'm playing it all clicks into place, and it's really happening with this. And I think the big thing for me is like that moment to moment of, I just want to do one more day. It's one of those games. One more day. I'm going to do one more round of going out into the world because I just unlocked a bunch of cool stuff. I want to use it. And the game really nails that stuff. And every moment I'm playing, I'm having a good time. And I'm just like, I see a big shiny thing over there, and I have some ideas about how to get there. Let's see if that's going to go work. And that is such a fun thing. The game nails that stuff. And yeah, I highly recommend it. I think it is a game that if most people give it a shot, get past that early tutorial stuff, the things that we talked about from the demo. In fact, just go play the demo.
And that's like normal video game stuff. Like, I know it's annoying. I don't want to make people think it's like some like egregious example of it.
Yes, it is not like, it's not going to, it in no way ruins the game. It's still like, Nintendo at their, quote unquote worst. It's not like, again, some big problem. But you can get past that stuff in the demo, and then you get to the real part of the game. And if that stuff's clicking with you at all, you're going to have a good time with this game because everything else is great.
I'm definitely going to play more of it. Once I beat Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster, instead of like jumping right to 6, I will play more Pikmin 4, see how much more I get into it.
Yeah, I think you'll really end up enjoying it.
Here's kind of a question. It's somewhat arbitrary, but since we're at like the end, presumably, of the Switch life cycle, when you look back, you think like Pikmin 4 will be a top 10 Switch game for you?
That's going to be tough. It's possible. It'll be in the discussion for me. It's going to be in my top 10 games of this year, and that's tough. Like, that alone is pretty tough because this is a stacked year.
It's a nuts year. Like, yes. Yeah, it feels like this is going to be one of the games, like, when we talk about how great 2023 is years from now, like, it'll take people for a bit to remember, oh, yeah, and Pikmin 4 came out that year.
Yes. And that's fine. Getting in the top 10 on the Switch is going to be, I mean, like, even, like, this year alone, is it going to be... Like, if we count the Super Mario RPG remake, it's already like what, number 4? Like,
God, that's coming. God.
Yeah, that's tough. But I'll say that it is doing everything it needs to do to present the best version of Pikmin. Everything. It is such a well-designed game. They clearly took, like, obviously they took their time with it. It seems like a game they've been working on for a very long time. But that effort really shines through in terms of just the way that everything is almost seamless. The one problem, we talk about this in the quick look, the menu system's a bit cumbersome. Getting around the menus a little bit weird, a little bit awkward. But once you're playing the game, they've really thought everything out, and they have like a good like shortcut system. You can map whatever you want to these shortcuts and kind of build it however you want. And the game encourages you to think about that because they talk about dandori, which is this Japanese concept of working efficiently and doing things in a way that like takes the least amount of effort but gets the most done. And they're constantly talking about this. And there's these dandori multiplayer battles, which are also very cool. I haven't done one. I watched Dan play one. That was very cool. But just like the game wants you to...
I did one of those in the demo.
Yeah. And it's like, that was super intense as well. It was like really fun to watch that. And like me and Dan kept talking, like, once we get in person, we're going to do this. We're going to play this game multiplayer competitively. And like, yeah, that sounds like a ton of fun. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with it. And I just feel lucky. 4 Pikmin games. Who would have thought? Not me. I was not thinking we would get 4 Pikmin games. I'm really glad we did because this is the best it's ever been.
It's 2 more Star Tropic games we got. So happy for you. Oh, yeah. But like I said, I've been playing Final Fantasy V, still really enjoying that. I'll probably have more to say when I beat it. But I think that is pretty much wrapping it up. I don't think we have any more super chats. Does a topic for next week come to mind immediately for you, Jeff? I would like to ask everyone else, why did they buy that zoo? Why would they do that? I'll think of something.
Yeah, what is that? They bought a zoo of video games. Yeah.
Yeah. Why would they buy a zoo? What would you rather play Barbie or a game where you make a nuclear weapon?
I legit would much prefer. I'm fine with Barbie, but I'd much rather make a fucking bomb. That's my sick mind. All right, Mike. Yeah, that does it for me, though. No other games this week.
All right, fantastic. Let's get out of here then.
All right, I'm
gotta go watch Annette with Paul Reichert.
Oh, apparently. Jesus Christ!
All right, thanks for listening to Last of the Nintendogs, everybody. We'll be back on. I'll be back on Thursday if Games Decides. Jeff will be on.
I will on the road. I will try to tune in if I can because it'll be the evening time anyhow. We'll probably be back at the hotel, maybe swimming at the pool or something. But yeah, you guys have a good show. You guys have any idea what you're doing?
No, but Sean's going to join me, so it'll be me and Sean.
Fantastic.
So the last time we talked about Sonic a lot. I don't know if we'll do that again. We'll figure something out. We'll have fun.
You might end up on doing some stuff with Giant Bomb as well later this week if they need some help, because again, I'm going to be out. So yeah, they call you in. That'd be good.
Yeah, for sure. Did you forget the super chats? Oh no, well, we read yours, Iceman. If you missed it,
Iceman, we did.
Wait,
yes,
there were more. Wait. Oh yeah, Iceman, we read yours. Yes,
I don't think there are more.
Playing Among Us with yours. Sorry. You missed, but yes, thank you so much, Iceman.
Yeah, we did read that, and thank you so much, Iceman. Bye, everybody. I'll see you next week.
Yeah. Thanks, Rock. Do you have the everybody's beating at once? My penis works, sadly.
Making requests. Most people are beating it right now. Why is that so funny? Just the deadpan fucking way I said it. Beating it right now. Most people are beating it right now.
Oh, let's freaking go.
It's insane.
Oh, let's freaking go.